One, two, three. Can you hear me? How we doing? All right, sorry about that. We're a little bit, we're a lot late today. Because my internet didn't want to work for a second, and I had to restart the computer. But are we working now? Can you hear me? Do I sound clear? Are we good? Can you hear my sips? Loud and clear. Okay. Let's begin. One, two, three, four. Boo boo. There we go. All right. So mild adjusting. Let's see. I'll get myself in frame. How do I sound? All right, where are we? So I'm gonna adjust my mic a little. Turn it around. Okay. There we go. You know, it's never easy to start. Never easy. All right. 75K. 75K. That's a big number. Not the biggest number, but it's pretty big. I don't know if this is usually a celebration number, but I thought when in Rome, I was going to stream today anyway. Woo! Let's check the chat because I haven't in a little while. Okay, where are we at? Oh, yeah, I guess I should do some. I should probably link stuff or something. All right, 1 second. So I'm gonna pin this in the comment. Doobadoo. All right, let me find. Actually, no, I could probably find it somewhere else. I'm just gonna do a bit of little housekeeping stuff. So we go. Alright. Everyone who hasn't seen it yet, which I don't know if that's actually anyone in the chat, because I assume you've all seen it, but if not, I will pin this. This is the latest big video we've done on Nausicaa. And I'm trying to keep getting people going to watch it. There should be another video coming out soon, but I've been dealing with sponsors for the last couple of weeks. And if you know anything about sponsors, is that they fucking suck, and they're a nightmare to deal with, especially in the emails. Not only do they not get back to you, they're always little skeezy bastards about it. So that's been my weeks. I think I ghosted one. One ghosted me. I sent an email to another one, but they might not get back till Monday. If they don't get back to me on Monday, I have to assume they don't care. So I might just have to release the video anyway. It is on Patreon right now, in some form. It's pretty much finished, but I will have to go back in and add the final little bit, like final touch up. That's about it. Like final outro and thanking all the new patrons we've gotten since the update video, that kind of thing. But the actual video content is all there. Congratulations! All right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look through. Major congrats! Thank you very much, Sir Liv. How's it going? Thank you. Congratulations. I feel like I'm at the end of Ava right now, but not not the movie, the end of the TV series. Congratulations. Golden Boy video. Ooh. I mean, Golden Boy's fun, but I don't think I could make a video about it. I don't know what I'd say. Congratulations. I'm very fashionably late at this point. But it wasn't my fault. I was trying to start the stream at 6:02. I was here at 6:02. I was just trying to start the stream, and I was getting red. I was getting all red stream. I don't know why. There was nothing wrong with my connection. I don't know. My computer was just playing up, or OBS was playing up. I was getting 60% drop frames, and I was like, I can't stream this way. So I was just messing around until I could get it to work properly. But we're here now. It seems to be working just fine, as far as I can tell. So whatever the problem was, it's not there anymore. I think it might be one of those you have to turn it off and turn it back on again situations. Yeah, 75K. Congratulations. Squawk. Yeah, we're all squawking tonight. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty alright today. I mean, I don't know. We've been up and down on productivity, I guess. I've been trying to do a lot, but my focus has been all over the place. I need to work on it a bit. But there's a lot to do, so I guess it's just the nature of the game. Very splintered. But it's been the weekend, so we'll take it. It's fine. or the weekend. Tomorrow is another week, and then I can really focus down on our 4C months. I've been slowly going through the movies, adjusting like the research. There's been some good stuff. I've been doing all the research on Princess Ariadne today. Very good film. Not very well talked about. I need to figure out a title for it where like people would actually watch it, which is going to be tough. Which I'm probably going to have to do some sort of Ghibli bait and switch title. Because, you know, Sanao Katabuchi is ex-Ghibli, assistant director of Kiki's Delivery Service. He's worked with Miyazaki before, I think, in Sherlock Hound, maybe. He was definitely there during that production. Like, he's of the brand, and people who worked at 4C, the producer who, like, created 4C, one of them, they used to be a Ghibli producer on Kiki, which is the project he worked on, so there's some connection there. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to talk about. Oh, we got a super chat. That's very nice. Neptune Cactus, thank you very much for the $10. Hey Stephen, congrats to 75k. Your work continues to inspire me, and I hope you continue to create a long time in the future. I hope so too, as long as I keep that health up and also actually get stuff done in the day. That's the battle, right? Got to stay healthy, but also got to stay focused. It's a difficult combo to hit. We'll try and get there one day. I've written a lot of notes. A lot of right now is trying to convert my notes from paper onto the computer and make them make sense, like structurally. But we're getting through kind of slowly. I don't know, very slowly. Keep having to add more films. Thank you very much, Neptune Cactus. I really appreciate the $10. We got congratulations. Hey yo, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, the music is always good, but unfortunately it's gone for now. Congratulations. Alright, so let me just double check my audio is good, because people are still congratulating. Keep up the good work. Congratulations. What's up with the beard? I don't know, I have a beard. What the fuck what the fuck does that even mean? Alright, yeah, balance the audio. 100k? Yeah, maybe we'll get to 100k one day. HFC is putting out the gamer speech, yeah. We hit the gamer number. Oh, you see that? When I tap the table, now the light... Can we see the light on the screen? God, can you guys see it? Yeah, bam, 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 bam. If I tap the screen, I can change the colour. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. I'm fucking crashing the mic. Gamer. No, I'm just fucking destroying. Alright. I hope headphone users like that one. Yeah, I bought this thing ages ago. I don't actually think the light on it's too strong. Maybe I need to turn the light up on it. Wait, I need to get the remote for it. I think it's downstairs. It's at the highest the light goes. It's very nice ambient, but it doesn't, it doesn't leave much of an impression. Although we do have another light over here. Is it charged? So I can hang that up here. I'm gonna put it up here. It's gonna fall down. I don't even know if it makes a difference. You can kind of see it in the top corner. Oh. We got lights coming from all different directions now. Yeah, maybe if I move this light too. There we go. We're coming out. We're very, very lit up. I'm gonna go get the remote. I'm back in 1 second. Let's see, does the light go up any higher? Not really. Oh dear. If I make it white, that's probably as light as it gets, right? Ooh. Where we go? It's a little bit unresponsive, but there we go. Alright, we'll keep it white for now. If I tap table, it will change colors. Oh. Better not tap too much or that light will fall down. Okay, now where were we before I got distracted by lights like a fucking bird? Okay, well, sorry. Ping pong. Oh, Monte Cristo, you know the saying. I don't know if people know the saying. I have a saying on the comment chat, which is, every time someone asks me about Yuasa, doing a video on Yuasa, I move it back a year. So I think now we're on 2031 where that video is going to come out. It's going to be a long time away. Do I think that there's any merit in doing a video focusing on Toshio Suzuki? No. Fuck him. Toshio Suzuki's going to be in every video if I help it or not. And he's definitely... he is a figure of complications. I don't know. He's got a way of doing things. I think he's a bit skeezy in a lot of ways. Although, like, he is, like, a very valuable tool in that, like, yeah, Ghibli probably wouldn't exist without him. He kind of keeps it going. But he also has, like, his own influences on the situations, which are... they're here and there. I don't know. I don't really trust Suzuki to always give the best entails of event, though sometimes he's the only source you've got, and his sources tend to be entertaining versions of what happened. If they're true or not is usually up for debate. They're true to him, at least. But no, I don't think Suzuki needs this whole... I don't think Suzuki needs a whole video on him. Fuck him. He's a producer. He's worked on a lot of things, but the thing is, Suzuki will always probably come up in a lot of his videos anyway, because by product of, if you're talking about Ghibli, Suzuki's such a natural foundation. Oh, cat's here. Well, it was only a matter of time before the cat showed up, but what is a celebration without the cat, the icon of the channel? You coming in? God damn it. Yeah, so yeah, like, Suzuki will always probably come up, especially since I own a book about... Oh, are you coming in? You coming in? I don't know what you want, cat. Do you want to... Are you looking... What do you want? Come on. Oh, goddamn. Such a fussy one. Am I early tonight? I don't think I'm early. I was late. It depends on the day. Usually I try and stream earlier if I can, before the sun goes down, so I can get out by the time I have to, like, make some dinner. But yeah, speaking of Suzuki, like, we'll probably talk about him again whenever we talk about the next thingamajig. My cat does not... My cat probably wants food. I don't know if they want a Suzuki. But yeah, like, every time you make a video, especially... Oh. Hello. You coming in? You coming in? I left some food downstairs for you, cat. I don't know why you're meowing at me. It's already down. So either you want to come up here... Nightmare, that cat. Right. Yeah, like say for example we talked about, like, Howl's Moving Castle or something, or Kiki. She's got food downstairs. The problem with her old age now is that she doesn't even check if she has anything on her plate anymore. She just expects you to come down and make her point at the plate. Like, yeah, and do I really want to go downstairs and point at the plate just so she'll quiet down? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to. Nightmare, you cat. Nightmare. God damn it. How do I change that back? God damn it. Oh, you coming up? Hey. Welcome to the channel, cat. You know how this goes. Yeah, this is a Nyan celebration. It's actually the cat's celebration now. It's her channel. Yeah, the cat is here. Wait, you're not buffering, are we? I don't think so. Thank you, Rodolph. Rudolph? Alright. Let's... what is just... 1 second, everyone. I'm gonna have to check out what we're talking about here. What, Yutsunomi? Yutsunomi? What, the city in Japan? Is that an anime? Or like a creator? What are you doing, cat? Oh dear. Well, that goes that light. Well, it was a matter of time. Okay, you can have the light, cat. Keep you lit up. Oh. There we go. Wait, you even on screen, cat? If you moved out of the... Oh, you've moved out the angle. You're like just on the edge. Tisk, tisk, tisk. There we go. Right, sorry, what were we mentioning? I have no idea. How do I even change this back? God damn it. Alright, there we go. I don't know. Character designer's probably not a whole video there, to be honest. I'm sure he's a swell guy, but I don't know how I do that. Do I know if there's any updates on the new Miyazaki movie? The last update I heard is that it's 3 years of production left, so you're going to be waiting a while. So maybe 2024, 2023 is when they'd expect the film to be finished. If Miyazaki's still alive by then, I don't know. Man's like a cockroach. I don't think you could kill him. Oh, where you going, cat? You leaving? There's already food downstairs. You don't need me. I don't need to walk you down, do I? Oh, Jesus. And the Prophet Musica. Yeah, thank you for the nice comments, everyone. I don't know what that is. Alright, yeah, thank you for... Alright. I should say, yeah. I very much appreciate... I guess, well, I don't know if I said it last time, but yeah, I very much appreciate all the kind responses we got on the end video. I don't know if I should have released that earlier or not, because I've been holding it for a little bit, just because I expected... I don't know, I didn't want to release that video, kind of talking about the situation before I had like another video coming out, because from like the ARMS video to when we released the Norska video, it was like 3 months, so I didn't want to just release out of the blue like this random video being like, oh, you know, health issues, blah blah blah, who knows videos, but I wanted to make sure the Norska one was done first, though I suppose I could have released it like a day or two beforehand, something like that. I don't know, YouTube is like fickle, who knows if that would have done better or worse. I don't know. But yeah, it's out. Very nice comments. Everyone was very supportive, and as of now, yeah, like my wrist is for those who didn't watch the video, yeah, I'm braced up because I don't know, the last year or so we've had I've had some wrist issues. The doctors haven't really got back to me on it. I have assumed it's like carpal tunnel or repetitive strain. It's been very slow recovery. Of recent days, like I guess recent weeks, month or so, I felt like a pretty good move forward. Like it's been feeling a lot better, like a lot less pain. I did some drawing last night with some friends, just to see like how I could do casually, and I went through a couple hours without too much. I mean, after a while it started to wane a bit, so like there was like a fatigue to it, but I could draw for a little bit at least. I mean, I was probably eating too, but like, you know, I probably had a couple hours in me before like I was like, alright, I can't do this anymore. So that's probably a good sign. And then I don't feel any pain, like extraneous pain today really. It's pretty alright, you know, all things considered. So that's probably a good sign. But again, like with the more work I've got to do, like that could change when when there's a lot to do production wise, editing and drawing. That can put like a real strain on the wrist. So like it's still in a bit of an up and down place, but I think it's a optimistic sign at least for the future. But it's a lot of work to do. Speaking of which, with I don't know, when we put the jacket on, it's actually it's getting a bit colder these days. The winter is coming. It's a weird transition because some days it's pretty sunny out there, but yeah, the nights are getting colder again. Yeah, my friend very generously got this for my birthday. I've been using it a lot in the videos. So I think it's a nice jacket to wear. It's a Yakuza jacket, got a nice dragon on the back. So, yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too warm, but we'll go with that for now. But yeah, so far Ghibli hasn't tried to strike the Nausicaa video, which is a good sign. They might do eventually, because recently I changed the title to add Nausicaa to the title, because I didn't know if I should have done that originally. Because if you're making a video about something, ideally you want it to be in the title, right? So that was ideally my plan, but I thought I don't know, I didn't want them hitting it the first couple of weeks. Now we've kind of hit like a flux point, like we've hit more like an equilibrium. Hopefully when the new video comes out again, the video on Fantastic Planet, like we'll see like another bump up, because I think it's hitting like a general flow now. But yeah, also hopefully not they don't just randomly strike it, but we've got through at least the strong point of where I would have liked it not to get claimed, which is good. And hopefully it just continues like moving at a steady pace, because like it's not been like an amazing explosive outturn, but it has been consistent at least. So like I'm hoping it just continues like chugging along, and we'll see how that goes. Chat, thank you very much for the kind comments about the Nausicaa and Cagliostro videos. They kind of lead into each other, because I knew when I made the Cagliostro video, eventually I was going to be doing a Nausicaa one, but the time for it kept getting pushed back because of other priorities. But we eventually got there in the end. So that's good. Like it's nice because they sort of lead into each other. Like you can watch the Cagliostro video, kind of get the basis of where they were beforehand, and then go straight into Nausicaa, and then you sort of see the trajectory from those 2 points all the way through, which is nice, because they are like the first two. I guess next up would be Castle in the Sky, which I don't know if I have a video in me on it, but I do need to update that tier thing, because I did have a tier list on a Patreon thing, where I was like, I might as well just, at this point, the way the channel goes, like if I hit a certain tier, I was going to be like, I'll just review or just make a video on every piece of Ghibli stuff, and then I can hopefully not get deleted by Ghibli by doing that. Like it's going to be the delete button. God damn it, Cat! Did you eat your food? I hope you actually went to eat. But I guess if that tier ever happens, I'll probably have to make a Castle in the Sky and what came next, like Totoro, Castle in the Sky, Totoro. Are you back? And Kiki. I've already done Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke. That will get instantly striked, I know that much. But that would be probably a very popular video. Spirited Away. I'm actually really interested in doing a video on House Moving Castle, because I think that's a very interesting film with a very like strange production with like a lot of fun stories. Good cat. Yeah, she must have ate the food because she seems chill. You're not on camera? You're a little bit. You can. Maybe I can move the camera slightly without breaking it. There we go. Perfect. You gonna sit down? You gonna sit down? Go on. It's the cat stream now. The celebration's for the cat, actually. Congratulations on 75k. Worked very hard. Alright. How am I celebrating 65k? I'm probably gonna be in Cooling a bit later on. Probably just chill out for the rest of the day. It depends how the day. Yeah, I'll probably be chilling. I think that's really the key here, just to take a nice easy Sunday. Because in the morning I've got to go shopping. So yeah, my domestic lifestyle, right? I'm really hitting it. I'm really hitting it hard. But yeah, we'll probably just sit in the stream for a bit, and then I'm probably going to be chatting to some people I very much care about, and it'll be nice. Take it easy. Apologies, I don't know where I was in the chat. How's it going, Sane? Patreon, YouTube members, what's the difference? I think it might be numbers and such. Honestly, YouTube does a really bad job of telling me about members. I've actually been really bad with it. I've never sorted out the membership stuff as much as I should have. I guess both get money, so I guess that's the nice thing. But yeah, I need to sort out, because I think I had made a video years ago being like, yeah, it'll probably be the same tiers as Patreon, but I've never updated the YouTube stuff to do it properly. I should. I'll get to it probably in the future maybe, but it's never been priority because I've never YouTube's never told me I've gotten 1,000 members. I've had 2 at most, I'm sure. I swear. So yeah, I've just never gotten around to sorting it, which is my mistake. But I imagine the people giving them money are doing it because they want to support the channel more than anything. But yeah, I should do the things I said I was supposed to. You get some stickers. I've made some stickers, some emojis at least. If I'm not mistaken, an English translation of How Do You Live is bound to come out. It already is out. I think you can now buy How Do You Live, although, disclaimer for everyone here, because I know people like to Miyazaki, when he adapts a book, he basically uses it as a basis, and usually they are nothing alike. So if you do read How Do You Live on the premise that it's going to be oh, this is going to be just like Miyazaki's movie, it will not be. Miyazaki never, ever, ever stays close to the source material. The closest you'll ever see as an adaptation in terms of source material is his own, Nausicaa. Everything else is pretty loose. Kiki's is pretty loose. I mean, some of the beats are there. Same with House Moving Castle's incredibly loose. That's just how he does things. You're all pink today, kitty cat. But yeah, if you want to read it, I'm sure it's actually a pretty acclaimed book in Japan. I know it's a very beloved book over there, so I imagine the film will do very well when it comes out. Thank you, Innocent, for the kind comments. Congratulations, we're all clapping for me today. Yeah, we're all clapping. Yeah, people are saying about the chat. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. If you didn't want to leave a comment on the end video outside of good luck or whatever, that's fine. I just appreciate that people. I felt like it's important because I've been spending for basically the last year, I've spent every stream just being oh yeah, this is what's happening. Oh yeah, this is what's happening. This is what's happening in terms of yeah, my health and such. So I thought it's good to get that on a video in a more public forum. So yeah. Friskbro, if you've got to do some stuff, no problem for me. Thank you for the kind comment. So where are we? Do you have a collection merch? If so, not. I do technically have a Blu-ray collection, but it's such a mess because I don't have anywhere to put half of it that it wouldn't be a good tour. I have 2 bookshelves and they're way too full. I don't think they're particularly interesting. I don't have anything that's too fancy. I have a couple of steel books, I guess, and I only got them probably because they were cheap. But steel books usually, unless they come with extra stuff, I'm usually not too bothered about buying a steel book over a standard. I'm more interested usually about special features because usually those things get lost real easy between releases. Yeah, moving up in the world, Cameron. Let's go. Thank you very much, Williams. Yeah, seeing how Miyazaki went from Cagliostro to writing Nausicaa and then founding Ghibli, yeah, those are really important years for the development of their stuff. If you're talking about their history of Ghibli, and I guess I'm kind of now stuck, in eternity. You make one video that gets ridiculously popular, you are stuck in it. But I find a lot of it quite interesting from the angle. Finding the angle to me is what's most worthwhile to it. And if it takes that you can just go through everything, why not? I think that's a nice thing to do. But yeah, the angle between like Cagliostro to Nausicaa and then like beginning of Ghibli. But yeah, I mean, if I was doing things fittingly, I would probably move to like Castle in the Sky, and I'd do it like chronologically. But I don't know. It depends if you get the information. I don't know if Castle in the Sky was a particularly interesting production or not, because Nausicaa had so much going on. Like, it had way more than I thought. Because when I was thinking about making the video originally, I was like, I'd probably focus a lot on the manga just like as a thing. But then the more stuff I found about the production and the history and like the story, I was like, I have enough here to do like a full-on documentary just about this element and how that like moves through time. Like, that to me was the most fascinating thing. Than just saying like, Nausicaa is really dense. There's lots of things that happen in it, and there's a cool giant monster who is a god, and he's sentient, and he also speaks and gets smarter. The story he goes through, and lots of stuff happen, and it's really complicated, and it's much longer than all the other Miyazaki stuff that you have seen, probably. Yes, I don't want to do that. Thank you, Williams, again. Laputa, Totoro, Kiki, Porco. Yeah, I've done Porco, so that's one out of those things. I'm not like a big fan of Kiki, so it's probably be a weird one for me to talk about. But there's probably an angle there. I've got some notes about the production somewhere. I think there's probably something there. I feel that there was once a conversation with Oshii, because originally Miyazaki wasn't going to direct it, so there's like something there, and that like it was going to be a young guy called Katabuchi. Senao Katabuchi was going to direct Kiki. And it just fell through for whatever reason. I think they eventually probably came to the conclusion that they thought he was too young, or they didn't want to give someone like that, because he was probably like in his 20s at the time. Didn't want to give him that position. If it was stress, or somehow didn't feel up to the position, it's really hard to say. I'd have to I don't know if he's ever talked about it publicly about why he didn't take the position, but there are definitely comments. I remember, I think it's Oshii who sort of brought them up, where he thinks that Kiki is like not really the sort of story Miyazaki likes to tell, because Kiki isn't like a Miyazaki girl. She's not like a powerful fighting girl, and she's a little bit like klutzy and more like awkward, I guess. And I think maybe that's what people quite like about Kiki. She's not like the perfect. She's not Nausicaa, She's not this like or like a lot of the other characters that he's designed in that sort of fashion, who are very confident. She kind of has doubts and is going through a lot. And, it's like the puberty mixed with all other amount of things that are going on, depression. So, yeah, I can see it, and also trying to make your way into the world, which is tough. And I see the relation points. But, yeah, maybe one day we'll get to that. I'm wondering if they do have one of those books on it. I'd really love to get, like, the art of Kiki, and hope there's some interesting factoids in there. Maybe there's some stuff in Suzuki's book about it too. How's it going, Gabe? Thank you for the nice comments. I'm doing pretty well today. Cat. This is Cat, also known as Squeak, or Suiki, I guess. I guess in a funny way, she's kind of like the brand mascot of the channel, but I don't really know what to do with her. But she never leaves. She like interferes. Every time I'm recording, she always intervenes. When I'm recording a video, she ends up making her way into it somehow. When I'm recording voiceover, she ends up making her way into it somehow, and I have to wait for her to quiet down. Yeah, she's a bit of a troublemaker. She hears me talking, she instantly's like, what are you doing? Are you talking to me? What are you saying? Why are you not paying attention to me? That's what you like. Yeah, I think at one point we might do House. I might make it like a goal, though. I might make it a goal one and see how it goes. Yeah, I think Hosoda will be an interesting part of the House Moving Castle thing for sure. I'm curious if I have a more full story, though. Like, Hosoda's version of events are like pretty fucking bad. And that, like, it sounds like he was basically thrown against the wall. Like, Hosoda had went from, like, working at Toei, for all this time and becoming quite like prolific at Toei, given this huge opportunity to be like the successor of Miyazaki, basically, in a way. Like, you know, he's retiring, his other successor had like passed away tragically, and then like they're like, Hosoda, you'd be a good fit. We've seen your stuff. You've got potential. You're also from Toei. You've got the Toei days in you. You've got like a unique style. But then from what Hosoda said, Suzuki like was trying to force him to be like a marionette Miyazaki, like to direct the film as Miyazaki would, and all his pitches for how to do the film were like rejected by Suzuki. And in the end, Hosoda felt like he had no choice but to basically like quit and leave, which kind of then put Miyazaki back out of retirement to actually do the film. Oh, now she's leaving. Oh, she got exalted by my comments. She's you're playing hard to get now. That cat. But yeah, so Hosoda's version of it sounds really bad, and like later on there's an interview where he said he basically wanted to quit animation afterwards. He felt like everything was fucked. Like he'd left Toei, he went to work at like Ghibli as like the aspiration, and then suddenly it was like, nope, this ain't working, and he's gone, and he was thinking of like quitting the whole thing. And apparently it was like Murayama-san, who of Madhouse fame, who was like recuperated him, like grabbed him up, because during that period as well, there's two things that was going on. There was like the One Piece movie he ended up working on somehow. How he got there, I'd have to look up. I can't remember. And then there was Girl Who Leapt Through Time. So in a way, like he may have wanted to quit after like after the One Piece one, because I have a feeling like a lot of the staff he'd picked up for Howls he brought onto the One Piece movie. And then after that, I think he might have wanted to quit. And then, yeah, Murayama basically, like, scoops him up, and this is what Murayama does, right? The man's an absolute fucking king. Like, pretty much the most predominant talents in the industry now are all, like, Murayama handpicked. He's the one that gave them, like, their chance to be directors and do their own thing. Maybe not all of them, but definitely, like, a high sum of them. Yuasa, Hosoda, Kon, etc. These people, like, he just, among others. But, yeah, he's the one that sort of found them, or, like, brought them to predominance in a bit. But, yeah, like, then from there... you know, Girl Who Leapt Through Time was a big success, and Summer Wars was a big success, and after that he sort of became so, you know, he became popular enough in a way that he could start his own studio and make his own films, and continue to do that to this day, which is just pretty good. That's pretty good for someone, especially at that time period. Takes out for Steve. Nice one, Billy. How's it going? That's my one member, my main member. Thank you, Kit, for the nice comments. Any more Takahata videos planned? I would love to do a Pom Poko video. It depends how much info is out on it though. Pom Poko, I think, is really fascinating, and also the way it like connects back to like the student riots, or like the student like protests of the 70s, and how the film is kind of like a personification of that period, but even like down to the hats and like the infighting. Like it is very much like a Japanese history documentary that you're watching, but there's also funny testicle tanukis. But like, yeah, and then like how they fail at the end, like they try their best, but ultimately it comes to nothing. There's definitely a flavor of that era all the way through it, and then I guess there's also like a minor bit of like the environmentalist angle too. But like that's not really predominant to like the storytelling that happens. But yeah, like that's interesting to see like how these like really radical positions, also like, you know, they're kind of sympathetic, like they lost their land. You know, there's definitely stuff there to talk about. It's a really cool film. But yeah, I really wish I could find like a lot about the behind the scenes, and maybe I can. Maybe one of my books says something about it. But yeah, that would be cool if I could get that. If there was like an Art of Pom Poko book or something about it, I'd be really interested in reading it. Same with like My Neighbor Yamada's. I mean, if we hit that tier, like if we hit the tier of just all of them, I would just go for everything. How's the stream going? The stream going alright, I think. Well, we got like 51 people. Hello, everyone. That's a lot of people. I don't usually expect so many, but I appreciate that everyone's come to say hello. Sports Direct mug. Yeah, I have... for those who don't know about this, who are outside the English thing, it's kind of a bit of a meme, but the Sports Direct mug is a very shit, but it's big. It's a big shit mug. Not covered in shit, but shit. But the thing about it is it's a free mug. So when someone orders something from Sports Direct, you get a free mug. and it's big, chunky. I drink tea out of it. I think it does the business. For a free mug, you could do worse. That's how I think about it. And usually you can't buy mugs this big unless you want them to be like quite pricey. So I tend to keep using it because of that. And Hiroyuki Okiura's work. His solo work. So what he worked animation director on Black Magic. I think I've seen. Did he do the moving room thing in Black? Is that in Black Magic? That's like the moving room that they're like that rotates around the room as like the monsters trying like the robots trying to kill them. That was a pretty interesting cut. He's got a very specific style, like a very grounded style, doesn't he? Because I'm seeing like his credits here for like Jinro and like especially like Hashire Mellows, which yeah, that's again a very like grounded looking film. I don't know him too well, to be honest, so I can't really comment on much more. But like he seems to have quite the selection here of key animating credits from Akira onwards. I'm curious if I've covered any of them. Memories? Oh yeah, so like we'll be talking about that soon. So he was on Memories as key animator. Again, Memories is very impressive. Rojin C, got that one. That's a pretty good film too. So he worked a lot with Otomo. Venus Wars, very flashy. Patlabor, good. Yeah, this is like a nice, and Metropolis, of course. Excellent film, excellent key animation. Then he's at Bones here with the opening credit sequence is really great, and he was the director of that, so that's very impressive. It's probably the best part of the film. One of them at least. And then he worked on the second Naruto film, which is also directed by the basically the director of Spriggan. So that's probably a very crazy animated film. I don't remember the second Naruto film too well. I have a feeling I watched it once, but I don't remember anything about it, I'm afraid. But yeah, he's got a pretty good credit here, like a nice selection of credits. And character designer on Innocence, Ghost in the Shell Innocence, great looking film. Character design also on is that the PS1 game, or is it? No, that's the original Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, legit dude by the looks of it. I've seen a lot of his work, though I don't know the name too well. I wish I could show it on screen, but I'm afraid like last time I did that, my internet like went weird. It shouldn't do it now, but like considering we've had a bad moment earlier, I would go to like Sakugaburu and just start jumping up clips. But nah, it's fine. Maybe I'll do that a different day. Yeah, I don't know if Khan liked the Perfect Blue book, but he just took aspects of it. Like it's pretty much his own thing, but like it takes the premise. It's quite different. Future Boy Conan. Yeah, we could probably talk about it. It depends how it goes. Like if I finish 4C month and I feel like I've got some extra energy in me, maybe I'll make a short like Future Boy Conan video in between before we get into the Arno stuff. Like that might be a good like respite, like a moment between those two big points. It's just that like I'd have to watch all 26 episodes and like really go into it and see what else I can find. Because I've had information around Future Boy Conan. I don't know how much there is like internally, but if they're releasing a physical release, maybe they'll have some like good stuff on it. I'll probably get like the collector's edition or something. It's worth looking into for sure. Would I also see myself doing a Ponnak video? I feel like if I did a video, it would be about that director. What's his name? Yabasai, is it? The guy who directed like The Borrowers when Marnie was here into Ponnak. I feel like his story, like from like Son of Ghibli, something like that. You know, Son of Ghibli, like someone who like came from the studio, brought up with Miyazaki, became one of the directors, got shit talked by Suzuki, which is one of the reasons I think he left when Marnie was here or there. That one didn't do too well at the box office, and I remember Suzuki apparently shit talked him for it and said that he targeted the wrong he targeted the wrong demographic, like the girl, like he targeted kind of like young teen girls instead of like younger girls, and that's what made it fail. And I guess he didn't take too kindly to those terms because yeah, eventually they left and made their own studio and are doing their own thing now. So yeah, I think that was a bad move by Suzuki personally, but what can I say? He's the expert, apparently. Can't keep a good man to the... That's the problem with a lot of Ghibli, right? And like circumstance really hits there too, because I imagine the environment of Ghibli is already set in its ways. But they lost like Kitaro Kosaka, they lost Sanao Katabuchi. For very tragically, losing Kondo was probably one of the worst things. Losing Hosoda too, losing like the people at Ponnoc as well. That's like, and also like you could probably bring back to like the director of The Cat Returns too, or the director of Ocean Wave. Like these talents, like they were pretty good talents. All six of those people I just mentioned, and none of them are at the studio anymore, for like multitude of reasons, but none of them work there or have made a direction debut. So it makes me wonder about like who they expect to like keep following up these movies, because you can't really run a studio with Goro alone. Like you need someone else, and they need to have like freedom to like make their thing, because if Ghibli's going to be a brand that continues, then they need a new generation of directors. Have I seen Gandahar? I'm not even sure. Spaceman James, thank you for the kind comments. Yeah, I mean, I try and list everything that like source-wise. I mean, if you don't list your sources, you're kind of a bit like suspicious in my mind anyway, because either that means that you don't want people to know your sources, or you're too lazy to post them. If you don't want people to know your sources, that means they're either like pretty shaky, or you're afraid that you're like plagiarizing someone, or you're just too lazy to post them, I guess, and that's like its own thing. And like when we're talking about like in this sort of area, especially like the anime stuff, there's like a huge amount of misinformation that runs around, because a lot of it just comes as like mainstay. Like people will say something because like that's what they hear, and then that will just like permeate the culture for like 20 years without anyone challenging it to be like, actually, is that really true though? You hear that like like the recent one talking to some people about was like the Carrie Kano. It's Carrie Kano. Like Carrie Kano, there's a thing that has been like going around rumor mill for decades basically now, about like Carrie Kano, that like Arno left the production at like episode 18 or something, and he, for some other reason, which is just not true, he didn't leave at all. He was there for the whole production. He just changed credit in episode 14. So the story goes, allegedly, that after episode 14, which I think was supposed to be a clip show kind of thing, but there was like some issues with the TV broadcast, and like things didn't go through, or they didn't finish the episode in time. There was something happened there. It was very stressful. The team was very stressed out. They were really behind, and Arno like quit, but like he just removed himself from being the director, and he came back the next day in a different position, which was more like a series director, where he was more like an overview position, and let someone else take predominance on the show. But he was still like involved quite a lot with it, and he's still in the credits for all these episodes, including being storyboard on episode 26. So like, yeah, it's just something that people have said for years, but it's just not true. And then this happens all the time. Like, you got to be really careful. How's it going, Gregory? Yeah, well, I mean, thumbnails are hard, but like, I'm an illustrator. Like, I got a background in it, so like, I think the issue for me is more the idea a lot of the time, because like the thumbnail is quite a limited it's like a limited field, to get your point across. And YouTube kind of likes certain things, and I think they've gotten a bit more versatile now, because like thumbnails have gotten bigger on the service, so people have like moved to different kind of ways of presenting their ideas. So it's not always necessarily that you need big flashing face, but there's a pretty it works. Flashing face tends to work, but like you can kind of get away with a little bit of leeway too. But yeah, I'm working on it. I think the new thumbnail I've got for the next video coming out for the Fantastic Planet one's really good. I used a lot of like the original. I didn't have to do too much, because there's a really good source. I had a really good source image to work with, but the way I've like adapted it to the format, I think looks really nice. So I'm really looking forward to the Fantastic Planet video. Hopefully we can work out all the details. How's it going, Hot Sunny? And Chetty? Well, Oshi's original script for the Red Spectacles. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Chetty, but I'm sure go with it. Yeah, we wouldn't have got Jinro. Yeah, Jinro's pretty cool. Where are we at? Sorry, I'm so behind. Oh, thanks, Fluggy, for the nice comment. And Ego. Yeah, we're going to talk about memories. We're definitely... The 4C month is going to be pretty full. We'll have about 15, 16 videos, and then like the big version, which will have even more content in it. Pom Poko's Haunted Night? Is that the full title? Wait, is that like a short, or is Pom Poko... I've never heard of that. Is that like a different title of it? It's just Pom Poko, isn't it? I don't know, it's like Ponyo over the fucking cliff or some shit. But yeah, sorry, I'm losing out where the chat was because the YouTube chat is really bad. You don't have to watch... You could probably watch Gabe, you can probably watch Hosoda's One Piece movie without watching the rest, probably. Like, you could do that. I mean, it's probably a good idea to know who these characters are, because they're not really going to explain it. You might want to watch a couple episodes if you're really feeling it. You might get away with just watching it on its own, I guess. But it is like, you know... It would be kind of like watching a Dragon Ball Z movie before watching any of the show. It might be a bit like, oh, okay. Like, it probably does help to, like, know some stuff about, like, what's happening. And I did hear about the Shenmue anime, but I'm not really interested. I don't know, it looks... yeah. So Liv, I mean, yeah, you're gonna hear some bad stories about Ghibli because you're gonna hear bad stories about the whole industry, and that, like, yeah, obviously, when it comes to making animation, it's really an unflattering, really like back-breaking process, and a lot of time that involves like horrible things happening, and that's unfortunate. I mean, Ghibli in some places you could argue is probably like a better place to work than a lot of places in the industry. Like, it will probably pay better. Like, you're on salary for one thing, you've got a nice place to work, but like it doesn't mean it's not really demanding and horrible at times. And like really stressful. And working Miyazaki's a madman. Like, he's he's incredibly difficult to work with, and I think most animators know that going in, to some degree. The young ones not as much, but like the older ones have obviously heard stories, but they usually do it because it's a really good thing to put on your portfolio, right? Hey, that's like a really prestigious thing to have as a freelancer, or anyone to be like, oh yeah, I worked on a Studio Ghibli film. That's like it's a mark of like your talent as an animator, effectively. But yeah, like, there's going to be some pretty dodge stories for sure. I always like to highlight them in the videos because I don't like painting a magical picture of like the process. Sorry guys, I'm very behind because there's so many people in the chat, but thank you so much for showing up. Big mugs are good. I agree. Yeah, I said it before. I don't know if I've said it before. In terms of like Takahata, there's a saying, I don't know if I put it in the video or not, I probably didn't, but like Takahata thinks that when he's on a movie production, he has the film reel as ransom. So like that's what he will literally do. Like, he won't give them like the work print or anything. So like he'll just keep a production going, but like he's got the film reel. So it's like, you know, most people are not willing to like let the film die 100%, and because he won't give them what he's got. Because usually what happens in these situations, right, would be that they'd like take what he's got and finish it themselves. They'll send it to someone else. But Takahata would be like the person that was like, I'd rather burn the film reel than let them try and finish it on the wrap without me. Because he's, again, a character. So usually what would happen in a lot of his productions is they just go horribly over time. Which I guess doesn't matter as much in retrospect because Ghibli's been so successful, but it mattered a lot more in the earlier days. Like, I don't know how bad Ponyo went over time. Not Ponyo, Pon Poko went over time, but it's probably not great. Like, it's a couple of years there, or like Only Yesterday. I know that for sure that Yamada's was a real nightmare, and even more so Kaguya being 8 years was insane. If you take Suzuki's word about the production to be true, that he's got a huge amount of like lineage about that one, and it's basically just like, oh my god, when you hear these stories, if they are true, because Suzuki can be a bit hyperbolic, they sound horrific. Like to Taka, and I know from other sources that Taka is just like, he doesn't communicate well with people on films usually. Like, he's very he can, like, I've heard, you know, I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard things which a multitude of things from like his producer perspective to him being like, there's a lot of different perspectives here. In terms of an animator, he doesn't communicate well with them, and there are like stories of him talking to the animators and being like, do this, do that, and they don't know what the fuck he's talking about, and then Miyazaki comes in and tries to tell them like, well, hey, this is kind of what he wants, and just like really struggling, like 3 people on their own, like key animators trying to like finished and fixed the film, and he didn't pick the colors for that film either, so it was like color picked at the time. Didn't finish the storyboard in that film, so they had that it's just so much nightmare in these productions, and such like decisions that you should not make. Yeah, so stressful. Major the debris scene in Magic, Black Magic, I see. Where are we at? Yeah, the animation Spriggan is very much a key animator's film. Like, the set pieces are very impressive. The story, when I watched Spriggan, I came to the conclusion at first, I was like, oh, is this like they took 150 chapters of the manga and tried to turn it into 90 minutes? And actually, I was way off, because Spriggan is episodic. So what they did is they took 4 chapters of Spriggan in the middle, and maybe some other bits around the corners that I can't find because they were never... Some of the early stuff was apparently cut out, about like the military, the children soldiers stuff, but they took little bits and pieces, but mainly these 4 chapters, and we're just like, we're going to done these 4 chapters, which usually would be, could technically be a 20-minute anime episode, like, of plot, and they were like, yeah, we'll turn these 4 chapters into a 90-minute film, let's go, and it's just like, okay. And like the way they do that sometimes is that they take animation as precedent. So a lot of the times they like break the story to just make things more intense and insane within the animation. They'll just like do things outside of the order of the thing, which will be like, wait, why is that happening? Wait, what? Like, that's just the kind of film it is. Impressive though. Even though, like, yeah, like, it's a little bit shell-shocky to watch. Am I going to talk about Eva? I'll talk about Eva when we do the Anno video. Yeah, Suzuki makes a lot of strange decisions as a producer. He's got a lot of those in him. Yone Bayashi. Yone Bayashi? Yone Bayashi, right? Yone Bayashi? Well, he's still a young director, so we'll see how that goes. Anderson, thank you very much for the kind comments of the Elfen Lied video. Unfortunately, it has been age restricted, which is was a death sentence for a while, but nothing I can do about it now. Yeah, I mean, if I understand right, I know people in the chat are talking about marrying the Witchflower. From what I understand, marrying the Witchflower was a response to when Marnie was there being like doing really poorly. I think that was the idea, because I think he did take what Suzuki said to heart, because when Marnie aimed at like a slightly older audience, and then with Witchflower, they're like, oh, okay, let's pull it back to a really young audience, like probably a really young woman audience, most likely. So they kind of moved the parameters a bit. I've never seen that film personally, so I can't really comment on the what I feel personally, but I know it's gotten like a sort of up and down response of like very talented animation. Maybe the narrative doesn't come together or whatever. That is what it is, I guess. I'll have to see. Like, I don't know, more realistic. What do you mean, like the sort of 90s era, like what, Pat Labor, Shinro? Oh, just like Jinro. Sorry, that's a typo. Jinro, Ghost in the Shell, Oshi. We'll probably talk about Oshi. I feel like talking about Oshi to me would make more sense in separate videos, because he's done so much work that I feel like a one video on him would just take too long. I don't really know if I have a lot to say about the original Ghost in the Shell, but Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence, to me is such an interesting film. Like during like who made it, how it was made, like the way it uses compositing, like all that stuff, the way it's like far more weird and esoteric than the original. I think that makes it, to me, yeah, something that is very worthy of talking about. Just, I don't know when. I don't know, maybe when there's the next Ghost in the Shell thing comes out, I'll do a video on it. I also have a great thumbnail idea for it, so one day. It'll probably be called the Ghost in the Shell Problem. I think that'd be a hilarious title, because it is like, how do you make a sequel for a film that has like such a concrete ending, as well as like a film where like the production of it was a real nightmare. A lot of Ghibli people actually worked on that. Suzuki was the producer, so a lot of like, so you got IG on it, but there's a lot of like, you know, people from Ghibli also working on it, like, and probably some 4C people too. And then you also had like Polygon doing the 3D stuff, and the 3D stuff in like Ghost in the Shell Innocence for 2004, very impressive, looks great, and the way it's all handled together and comes back, amazing. So yeah, we'll probably talk about them one day. Yeah, Anno was there the whole production. See, here's the problem, Mr. Jerkface. You've literally made a decision off bad information. This is what I'm talking about when I'm really, like, hate that sort of stuff. So, yeah, intentionally skipping the other half is not a good thing. He was there the whole time. From what I understand, at least this is what I heard. I don't know how true this part is, but from what I've been told, there isn't, like, a concrete ending to Kerry Kano, because allegedly there was, like, a dispute with the author. There were, not that they hated it, but there was like a disagreement or something. So they probably had two cores, right? So they did 26 episodes, but it was not renewed for more seasons because I think they had a disagreement with the original mangaka, so they never continued adapting the story. So maybe there could have been a season 2 or something. That would be my guess, or OVA, something like that. Even stuff like if I remember, there's an episode 24. There was an original episode 24 planned, which was a beach episode that never got made. There's a lot of things happening there. Have I seen Keep My Hands Off Eizouken? I saw the opening, but I didn't watch it. I was too busy at the time. It seems cute. I would probably like it. I just haven't really gotten to it. Pony on the Cliff of the Sea, the full name, yeah. What do I watch in my free time? It's bold to assume I have free time. If I have free time, I'm spending it with my loved ones. I don't tend to watch too much anime on my own unless I'm watching with friends, I guess. Like, usually if I'm watching with people. Like, if I'm watching something, usually it's for a video. Outside of that, I don't know, we'll probably watch something that isn't anime. I don't watch seasonal anime, though. Absolutely do not have time to watch seasonal anime. Shane, thank you very much. I appreciate the nice comment. I would cover Daikon 3 and 4 in the Anno video. A special on what? Tenshin Tamago? Oh, my dude, just say fucking Angel's Egg. Jesus Christ. It's fine. Angel's Egg is a fine way of... It's Angel's Egg is fine. Angel's Egg is fine. That's a good title. More than like... I didn't know we were speaking Nihongo today. I actually do have plans for Angel's Egg. I have 2 plans for Angel's Egg. And they involve talking about actually the art director, which is Amano. We're going to talk about Amano, and he was such a big important part of that. We'll probably end up talking about that. And I have another kind of video planned for it, but like it's a little bit different and not what people would like. But I wouldn't want to make it. I think it'll be funny. So it'll be very short though. It's going to be more like a short experiential thing. But yeah. 2 videos on Angel's Egg. One, well, mentioning it will probably happen eventually. Have I seen Area 88? I have not seen it personally. I played the video game once upon a time, but Area 8 seems pretty cool. Yeah, I know Iho, but Ihoba's a nice guy. He has a lot of interesting stuff on his website because he like buys and like translates or like loosely translates a lot of like of Oshi's work, which is great. Yeah, I mean, the compositing and Innocence is like unmatched for its time period. It's insane. Have I seen Flowers of Evil? I have seen a bit of Flowers of Evil before, yeah. It's the Rotoscope show, right? I think the guy who does it is an incredibly talented dude, and I think from what I saw of Flowers of Evil, it was a good show. Though, like, yeah, I mean, there's a sort of level of uncanniness to it, but I think that sort of fits I think it fits what he was trying to do a little bit. Though, like, yeah, I think this is the issue when you're doing rotoscoping. As someone who does rotoscoping, the closer you get to reality, the more uncanny it becomes. Which is why something like... No one ever says something like, Take On Me's the music video. That's a bit uncanny, isn't it? No one says that about Take On Me. Because it's so stylized that, like, they never really... Those sort of talks never really come about. Shane O'Sutherland, thank you very much for the $10. Top 3 video games. That's a really hard one. I mean, since I've had the brace... I haven't been able to play any video games, really. It just makes my wrist fucked. In terms of video games I've really liked in the past, it would be quite difficult for me to, like, pick them out, but I would say games that I know left a huge impact on me. The Metal Gear franchise is overall, but I would probably say my favourite of all the Metal Gear games is Metal Gear Solid 3, Although it's not the game I played the most out of the franchise. It's the one that like every time I play Metal Gear Solid 3, I like it more and more. So like I do feel like that would be my conclusion. I have played Metal Gear Solid 2 the most out of all of them. I beat that game maybe 20 times. What I used to do after I got out of school every day is I would just come home and beat Metal Gear Solid 2. I could do it in like 3 hours. Like I could beat the whole game. Like I got very good at just running the game. I just enjoyed it. I probably beat Metal Gear Solid 1 a couple of times, but I played pretty much all of them. But yeah, I'd say that's definitely up there. Other games that come to mind would probably be something like... I have very fond memories of playing Shadow of the Colossus. I haven't played it too much since because like the original hardware, a little rough around the edges. The stable, it's like running at 20 frames per second. It's a bit rough around the edges in that regard. The time attack on it is very stressful. I remember that was the last time I think I played it, was doing like time attack on Titans and getting really Colossuses, getting really pissed off. I think I borrowed my friend's version of the HD collection version for PS3, but I never installed it. But I should probably play through the game again sometime. I'd like to play Ico actually. I've never really got into that. In terms of other games, trying to think off the top of my head of something else where like I spent a lot of time playing it. Not necessarily one of my favorites, but probably a game I played a ridiculously long amount of time into, was Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. That was a game I spent an abhorrent amount of hours playing. And I've shown it to my nephew since, and I've played a bit with him, so like I'm still, I guess, technically playing it in some way to this day. Other games would maybe be like Devil May Cry games. I was a big fan of that. Again, not great on my wrist now. Devil May Cry 3 in particular. I spent a long amount of time playing that game. I wonder if there's any other were like really formative titles for me. I mean, back in the day, when I was like 16, I played a lot of Persona 4. Kind of like, yeah, obviously, obvious choice, but it's probably one of the few RPGs, like JRPGs, that I actually went the whole way through and finished. It took me like several years to do it, but I dedicated a massive amount of time to it. I remember being like incredibly depressed in school, and like our internet was down, so like I literally lived Persona 4 for like a week. Like that was just my life. There was like I had no internet. It was just studying in Persona 4. That's all I had. Yeah, it was an interesting time in my life. So yeah, I guess it leaves an impact for that. There you go. That's more than free. That's more than free. There you go. You got an extra couple in there. Yeah, I mean, well, getting well is a slow process, but I feel like health-wise, I'm doing pretty all right. I didn't get to do too much today exercise-wise. I was going to go for a walk before the stream, but I ran out of time. It's quite dark out there now, but so I'm probably not going to do that. But maybe tomorrow I'll go for a nice cycle, and say this was just this is a rest period. My knees and my what do you say? My knees and my ankles were playing up a little bit recently. I think I've been overdoing it. Because when I go cycling, like I go pretty hard. Oh, thank you very much, Shane, for the $20. Blessed. Yeah, I was probably like the most stereotypical weeb at the age of like 15 or 16. To be fair, I'm very proud of it. I imagine I spent way too much time watching anime. It's interesting because that's not really what I did afterwards. But during that period of being in that state, I think we've all kind of been through a state of just loss. But yeah, I was definitely living the Persona lifestyle for a bit. And Lilith, thank you very much. Yeah, the Satoshi Kon video, I'm glad I did it. Though originally I didn't think I would do it. So like it's an interesting one that it's become such a popular video. But after I read his memoirs, like his final thing, I was like, I have to make this video. I made the video strictly for that scene. That was the end game of doing a video on Satoshi Kon, was like conveying that final message, because I was like, this shit's like too strong to not like be somewhere like archived in a more obvious manner than just like a text post. So I wanted to really bring that one to life. Everything else was just sort of getting it together, but I think it came out pretty well. A little rough around the edges in some places, but yeah, it worked. The wrist is doing okay. Like I'm not wearing the brace as much. I've been doing some stretches. We go, like this one hurts a lot at times. I think I've gotten a lot better with it though. But like, yeah, doing that does sort of give it a little relief. I've spent a lot of time doing that. I did a lot of them, a lot of stretching, but Yeah, it's not been too bad. Though I haven't been like pushing it too hard because again, we haven't been doing a lot of like animating or drawing. That's usually what does it. But yeah, it's been going okay. What's my opinion on Serial Experiment Lane? Great opening, absolutely great opening. I don't have much else to say about it, to be honest. I own it in the other room. I watched some episodes. I haven't finished it. I bought it years ago and been meaning to actually do it for real, but time. Ben, I didn't actually do A levels. I did not do A levels. I went straight into like a BTech in art and design. So I don't know if many people know how this works in England, but the way we do it, or the way I did it at the time, is instead of doing an A levels, I did a BTech in art design. It was a little bit experimental at the time. I think it ended up being called they changed the title a couple of times. It was like a diploma in art design, basically, extended diploma maybe. So it's like 2 years of just doing a bunch of different topics and then specializing in the second year. And then after that, I did a foundation year, which was mainly for just building up portfolio. So I think that was all free because under English, I think under England you're good for 3 years, college wise. But like that was, I guess that's more like sixth form in America or whatever. So yeah, I did a foundation to build up portfolio, and I did it in a background illustration. And then I went to university and did a BA in illustration, which was a bit more mixed media than just illustration. I did a lot of like collage and animation, as well as other stuff. Like I did a lot of mixed media things and a lot of animation by the end of it. I've seen a bit of Nichijou, yeah. And how's it going, Spence? Hot Sunny. I know Joe from Beyond Ghibli. Maybe one day we'll do something together. I think it's all about timing and like projects. Because I remember saying to him a little while ago, because I was curious about my like time scale this year, because I had thought like maybe like doing a Hosoda video before his big movie came out in like December properly. I think it's like the public release. I think. But yeah, I was thinking of doing maybe like a Hosoda sort of thing. Hosoda? Hosoda? Is it Hosoda or Hosada? I forget. The guy, Mamoru Hosoda. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I said it to him, like, hey, if I did one, you want to do something with it? And in the end, I was like, oh, I don't actually have time. I don't have time to do it. So maybe next time he releases a film, I don't have time to do it. I'm going to focus down on the Arno project and now the 4C month. And then maybe things keep coming up. So if we talk about Hosoda, it would definitely be in the future. Whenever he does something next. I don't think this one's on. I don't think this one's got me, but I have a couple of his films, like special edition, like with little booklets about stories about production and such. So like I have some materials to work with. I've seen pretty much all his films. I don't think I've missed many of them. I've seen like the other day actually with some friends. I guess it's the other month. We sat down and watched the American version of the Digimon movie, but only the part with Hosoda did. So the like the war games bit. Yeah, and that was great. I don't know. I think they might have cut some stuff from it, but like it's just like a great short for Digimon. It's a wonderful time. I guess it's two shorts slammed together or whatever, but yeah, good shit. Yeah, I don't know what some of those newer ones I might not have seen, but I saw Mirai in cinemas. Do I go to Comic Cons? I'm not going to Comic Con next weekend. No, I'm house sitting currently. I'm not against going to like a Comic Con sometime, but I don't want to. They're expensive. Like if I'm going, I want to get a press pass. I want them to take I want to use my my sub count to my advantage and see if I could get like a press pass or something and get in for free. That would be my game. I don't know if I want a panel or anything, but I'd like to get in for free for sure. And thank you, was it Aron Naka? Aron Naku? Aron Naku. Thank you very much for the kind comment. Have I seen Gasaraki? No, I haven't. It's like, it looks like mechs, but they've, I don't know. Is this like Production IG? Oh, it's Sunrise. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It'll be one of the two. Late 90s Sunrise. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with it. Oh, so it was directed by Takahashi, though, was it? Wasn't that the he did, what did he did? A fucking, what's it called? The Votoms guy. Interesting. Robin? Was it Robin? I said it before. But the next big video, like the next big video we're working on is Hideaki Anno. So we'll be talking about everything. I would like it to be out by the time Shin Ultraman comes out. I don't know when it's coming out though, but that would be like my ideal release date would be around that time. I'd like to see Shin Ultraman if I can, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, I don't know if that would have to be a separate video, like, you know, Anno and like Tokusatsu or something, just because like, yeah, the final bits of Ultraman and Kamen Rider would be a whole other thing. In terms of Lupin. In terms of Lupin Part 6, I've heard the opening. I saw a little bit of the OP. I saw a small clip of the OP. I haven't watched any of it because, again, I don't have time, guys. I've got so much 4C stuff I need to watch, and I fucking haven't. You have no idea how much stuff I need to watch for 4C. I got so many shorts to watch. I have so many shorts to watch. I got so many films to watch. I'm only at Ariete. I need to now go. I've decided I'm probably going to talk about the Animatrix because it's part, like, most of the shorts were by a 4C and they produced it, so that's probably worth making into a video, I guess, for the 4C month. So maybe there's going to be, I'm going to have to watch all the 4C shorts again. Not the 4, sorry. I have to watch all the Animatrix shorts again. I've seen a good chunk of them for like different videos, and I want to put them in order as well. Maybe at the end of the video, I would want to rank them, and I think World Record's probably my favorite so far, but we'll see. There's like 9 of them, but I'm pretty sure at least 5 of them, like 2 of them are Madhouse. I think 5 of them are 4C. Then 1 of them is a Korean studio from Peter Chung, and the other one is Square Enix. So that's majority 4C. But yeah, I got to go through those again. I got to go through Mind Games, Tekken Street, whatever it's called. So much stuff. And then I've got to watch all Friedrich's Berserk movies and whatever else they did. The Genius Party. God, and then like 1,000 music videos, video game cutscenes. It's gonna be a wild one. And I've seen the first episode of Fooly Cooly like 15 years ago. I never watched the rest, I'm afraid. Maybe I watched the first 2. I forget. I definitely watched the first episode back in the day. Maybe we'll talk about Fooly Cooly one day. I'd really rather just use it to talk about the pillows, though. I'd like to talk about music in the show. But maybe that's like a after Arno video kind of thing. Short video after Arno. Yeah, Arno video will eventually happen. You think his voice was bad in Wind Rises? I think it's actually much better than the English dub. I saw the English dub for the Wind Rises in theaters, and when I heard Arno's delivery, I was like, oh no, this is what it's supposed to sound like. No, this totally makes sense to me now, because Arno really gives the kind of performance that I feel that character needed, where you can tell he's like so completely focused in that one area, and that he's just very in the clouds, in a way where people don't understand. You know, maybe on the spectrum or something, who knows. But he has a very particular, like, way, and I think that is supposed to be kind of the reason why he can't see what's in front of him, which is, like, the horrible destruction. But then, you know, you argue that the real person could. So it's the way Miyazaki is doing it, at least, is that he's supposed to be, like, so intensely focused on planes that he can't see beyond his, like, glasses or whatever, and what's in front of him to see the destruction that he's causing. If meant to or not. Because he has like really toxic ideas about like creative responsibilities and such. I'll be talking about everything Arno's ever done. So yeah, not just anime. We're doing 4C month. 4C month will be it will be a selection of all their movies at first, and then at the end of the month there'll be a full video where I will talk about everything. So the movies will become their own set of videos, and then I'm going to take those videos, put them into the bigger video. Like it'll be part of. I'll basically be making a giant video, and I'll be like piecemeal, like throwing off each of the entries, like the big entries, and then the final video will have more in it. There'll be, I don't know, maybe like any adjustments or touch-ups or any corrections will be in it. We'll be talking about stuff that can't be made into a video, so like stuff like all the shorts, video game cutscenes, all their smaller projects, everything in between those projects, when they worked on stuff that was connected but not a whole movie, TV shows, OVAs, stuff like that. But there'll probably be like a main line of 16 or 17 videos released on a daily basis, or bi-daily, I guess, every 2 days. Would make sense, I guess. Like every day or two we're going to have a new video out in December. And then don't expect any videos for a long time after that. Hmm. 4C is very interesting. I don't know if their later work, like now, is like the same as their younger work. I don't know. There feels like the company has somewhat got corporatized over time, and then maybe some other issues that are speaking up as well, especially with Children of the Sea. But we'll have to see as we go through the production and I do more research. But I do get an impression maybe that 4C is not the same company it once was. Though I do really respect them for what they've done for the most part. More so on the early side though. Yeah, I like Pierre Chung. I think he's interesting. Van. I hope you're having a good time. And I hope you yourself are, well, you know, I hope your health's good. And how it be. But nice to see you in the chat. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, world record's definitely a cool one. Yeah, like the very particular kind of slow motion effect that Koike? I think his name was Koike, right? Was it Koike? Koike sounds weird to me. I don't know why, but I think it's... I'm not sure which one is correct. I said Koike, but no one seemed to bother to correct me, so maybe it's that one. Koike. Yeah. What was I saying about... Yeah, the world records are really good, sure. I think... I'll have to rewatch them all, but I'm pretty sure that's my favourite. It's most intense. Yeah, Mind Games is pretty cool as well. Well, yeah, I guess we'll be talking about that. Maybe one day we'll get a new Katsuya how do I say it? Tsurumaki. Katsuya Tsurumaki. We'll probably get a new film from him, or series from him at some point. Yeah, we'll talk about Cutie Honey as well. The stream, what tends to happen with the streams, people, they all get put in a playlist for like Patreon only stuff. I usually don't make them like public. They're sort of, you know, you're here or you're not. That's usually how it goes. But I do keep them all archived for anyone who like supports on the other show. My favorite Hirasawa album. I'm not even sure. Like a Miura video. We might do a Miura video. I kind of said no to it, but then when he passed away, I sort of had an interesting idea of how I would do it. But like, I imagine it wouldn't come anytime soon. Like, I don't really, you know, I feel like it would be better to do it in a more like reflective time period. A little bit more time needs to pass for me. In terms of Hirasawa albums, I'm not really sure actually. I just like watching his live performances. But he's still got so much good work. Sometimes I just let the live performances on autoplay and just let him just keep going. I mean, obviously the Berserk OST is amazing. That's one of my favorites. But his soundtracks for like Paprika is great. And outside of his like albums with like, what was it called? P-Work? He has like, you know, the band he had before he was like solo. I don't know, this is like... It's too much. It's too much. It's all great. Just check out whatever. Just pick random songs. That's usually the fun part. I don't know necessarily if any of his albums are like super cohesive per se. I guess the albums are. I mean the soundtracks maybe, but you kind of just get an experience either way. I really do like the soundtrack for Paranoid and Agent. Yeah, Paranoid Agent. I think that's a great soundtrack. Wrist it's doing okay-ish. It's been worse, so hopefully we're getting there. Oh dear, my camera died. Oh no. I forgot to plug it in. Oh dear. Alright, the camera, the audio might go funny because Discord hates it when those things get disconnected. But we'll see. If my audio goes bad, please tell me because I'll have to restart OBS to make it work again. Have I seen Adventures of Tintin? No. Wasn't 4C a cloud thing? No, it's a studio. 42, I think it's important to register that like a lot of people were definitely not okay with Arno being the voice. They kind of thought it was a joke because someone suggested it and then Miyazaki was like, actually no, I think that's a really good idea. But I feel like the main reason Miyazaki wanted Arno in the production, while he does fit the voice, I think he just wanted to hang out with him. I honestly do believe it was a decision where like Miyazaki just wanted to be around Arno and he wanted an excuse to do it. But like I do feel he fits the character for sure. And Bera, right? Bera, thank you very much for the kind words. And yeah, we'll get to 100k one day. This year, no idea. Depends how YouTube if YouTube bestows me with good luck, maybe in the next year, who knows. That Arno video could do it, who knows. Yeah, Gregory, that's basically what it did. Like, the character from The Wind Rises is a real person, but, like, they turn him into the book it's based on is a fictional book. It's like a weird mishmash. And they also just changed some of his, like... Some of it's quite close, but, like, some towards the end is very not true to reality. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, 4C is a very interesting studio, though. People should check out their work. I definitely think it's a really appropriate one for the series, though. Have I seen Kubo Yatoru's short graduation film Crazy for It? I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar, but maybe I'm not familiar. Have I seen it? Is this the guy that does all the key animations on his own? He's like the key dude. He did an episode on Cowboy Beat, not on Space Dandy. Is that him? No, that's a different guy. Is it? Yeah, it's not this guy. Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it anyway. Is it like a music video? P model. Oh, there you go. P model. There you go. Alright, sorry, I gotta check. How's the audio, everyone? Is the audio good? Okay, audio's still good, is it? Okay, it might go bad still, so keep an eye on it for everyone. If it starts messing up, because sometimes it likes to do that. Yeah, I forgot to plug in the battery a second ago, so now it should be okay. Congrats on 75.1. Yeah, there we go. I went a bit over. I mean, DV8 Stacker, what a fucking name. That's pretty good. I don't know, 43 people is pretty nice. Like, I think that's a manageable number. Like, I don't really expect a large portion of that sub count to be watching live. I don't think anyone does. Like, usually you only get a percentage of people who watch live for a myriad of reasons. It also depends what kind of content you do. Like, this is a fine amount of number. I mean, we're at 48. I mean, if I had 1,000 people watching, I don't think I'd be able to keep up. I can't barely keep up with the chat now when there's like 50 people. Imagine if there was like 100,000 of them. Well, you know, like 100 people. It'd be too much. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd just have to ignore the chat. Okay, all good. Yeah, I mean, I've seen both versions. I've seen the English dub of Wind Rises and the Japanese, and I would definitely say that Arno's performance is much more true to the character. Joseph Gordon-Levitt feels incredibly miscast because he's like a very traditional hero voice kind of person, and that's just not the character. Like, he's not that person, so it's just a very strange choice. He's usually more of like a leading man type person, where he's supposed to be playing a more troubled individual, conflicted. Forcey definitely has some interesting stuff, though I think a lot of that might be Yuasa and just certain films they've done. There's some pretty good, like, weirder animation scenes in Spriggan, especially towards the end. They do some really cool effects for its time. Mind Game definitely has some stuff. Genius Party is, like, really out there. Like, each of the short really just do whatever they can, which I respect. That's kind of like the whole point of it, from what I understand. It's supposed to be a party of geniuses. I think the idea is that you take one, like, it's pretty acclaimed, like, directors and just give them free run to do anything they want in a short. I've seen Yuasa's and Watanabe's shorts from that. I don't know if I've seen anyone else's. I think I probably have, but I'll watch them all again for the video. It's like a music video. We're talking about what are we talking about music video wise? Are we talking about the other video? God, I'm lost. Joe Smart. I said this earlier, but yeah, with my wrist, because of the issues I have with my wrist, I don't play any games right now. And for the foreseeable future, it's probably not going to happen because I'm afraid of relapsing the wrist, just because like repetitive motions, and especially with like demanding games, do like completely buckle my wrist. And in the past, I've done them, and it has like, you know, it leaves like, you know, days of strain afterwards, so it's not really worth it. So unless I'm playing something that's really low demanding, but I don't have to use much of my right hand, it's just not worth it. Even as it gets better, I'll be like very reluctant to try because, again, I don't want to bring it back. So like, yeah, it's probably not something that will happen very frequently anymore. What's the first 4C anime I should watch? Well, Hot Sunny, maybe you should start at the beginning and watch their first anthology movie, which will probably be Memories. I think that's usually better. Like, usually if someone asked me something like that, I would probably say starting at the beginning is usually the best way of going about it. Just because like each of the films is so dramatically different that like I don't think there's any like one where I'm like, you need to watch this one first, because your preference is going to be what it is going to be. I'd have to know you more personally to even understand. Have I seen Aoi Hono? His drama series. Aoi Hono. No, that's not Arno's. You mean Blue Blazers? Blue Blazers, well, yeah, Arno's in it, but it's not about Arno. He's just the figure. It's about the mangaka who's in it. But yeah, I've seen Blue Blazers. It's great. But yeah, Arno's not involved. He's not involved. He's just a character. Like, he's just a person in the story because they went to school together. But Arno also, you don't see it in the series because the series kind of just ends, unfortunately. There was a lot more to cover, but they didn't cover it, which is sad because it's such a great series. I would have liked to see a season 2, but they kind of like ended it pretty bluntly. They didn't even get to the part where Arno drops out because like I'm pretty sure like a year or two in, like Arno just like he just drops out, and by 1963 he's out. So he leaves. He becomes a dropout, and then he sees his friend at the time. So it shows him an ad in the paper to Animage, and it says, "Hey, Miyazaki looking for animators for his new production of Nausicaa, and he goes from Osaka to Tokyo, and he brings his portfolio, and Miyazaki looks at it and goes, "When can you start?" And he goes, "Don't know. I still live in Osaka." And he's like, "You can't start now? Tisk. Start right now." Which I guess is not the response he was expecting, but it's all he got. Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about with the witches. I tried to watch the first episode of it, and I was like, this didn't feel like a real show. I don't know, it was a bit weird. I think the art direction is very cool. I'm kind of interested more in the OVA for the Witches, Four Seas Witches show, because it's a lot of the episodes in the OVA were, I think there's only 6 episodes, but they were written by Katabuchi, which is pretty cool. Have I seen anything remotely good as Ninja Scroll as far as its genre? I don't even think Ninja Scroll is like the most amazing film. It's a very like high octane action film. In terms of stuff like Ninja Scroll, I mean, you just got to watch Kawajiri's other films because it's a very specific style. It's kind of like the sort of dirty edge of OVAs, right? Dirty. I mean, it's not an OVA; it's a movie, but that kind of feeling. But I think Kawajiri's other work is probably the most like pointed. I mean, I prefer like Bloodlust to Ninja Scroll every time. Other intense sort of things like that, though, I'm not really. I wouldn't be able to give you one off the top of my head. There's probably something out there. Someone in the chat probably knows better than me. Silliest Rogan, thank you for the $5? $5, yeah. I ignored the pain of my wrist by playing video games and currently have useless hands. I have progressed. What was it? I have a prognosis of about 3+ months before they heal. I would say Rogan now, just to warn you here. Like when you fuck your wrists up, it can take a lot longer than 3 months for them to heal. Because I was expecting, maybe I'd be out of commission for like a month, but it's been more than 12 months for me. I'm like, how many months am I in? I'm in 15 months. 15 months of an injury. So I wouldn't be optimistic about that, but I hope it is only 3 months for you. Really do, because it's not great having like a fucked wrist. It really limits your experiences in a lot of ways. Yeah, Kit, I wouldn't be able to play fighting games right now. I think it's too much because fighting games are incredibly demanding and it's a lot of like strain and stress. Playing fighting games would just be absolutely murder. And like my wrist has been a lot better recently, but like I don't want to put myself in a position where I could do more damage to it over something like that, which is kind of frivolous compared to what I need to do to like work, to make a living, which is very different. Thanks, Hot Sunny. Have a good one. Yeah, I would say definitely respect your hands, everyone, because like you kind of need them so much in a day-to-day situation. Like without them, it's really messy. Glowing toilet paper. Where's that glowing toilet? Oh, this thing. It's just a light. I had it for the cat, but she's disappeared. Maybe we put it back over here or something. We'll get better light if I put it. Where should I put it? Maybe like, ooh. Where are we going? There we go. I'll put it like there we go. Now we got more colours so you can see in the reflection of my glasses. 3 colours all in my eye. Right there. Whew. I might need to get a refill for my drink in a second. Have I read Tezuka's Phoenix? Yeah, I've read chapter 4. The one I did a video about the OVA on. There's a lot of chapters, so I haven't read all of them, but I very much like that one. Three months is being very optimistic. But yeah, if you do, make sure to rest it. And if anyone in the chat who has wrist issues, buy a brace as soon as possible. Wear it at night and do stretches. Those are the 3 things I would say. Do a lot of stretches. Be respectful to your wrists. Wear a brace at night. That's definitely the most important time to wear it. If you have to wear it in the day, it does help. This one here is I think it's a Mula Green. This one's really good. I've had a couple braces. Most of them I've not had a good time with. This one is, because it has like the protection up here, that's been really good for me. I also bought a couple sideways mouses, or vertical mouses they call. Don't skimp out on the price on them. Get yourself a nice vertical mouse. It really takes the strain off your wrist, especially if you do a lot of work like that where you need them. That would be my advice. Oh, Kevbot, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the $20. Cheers on 75k. Well deserved. You watched the you watched the Norska video 3 times now. I'm very flattered that you have. I probably had to see it too many times myself, but I think it turned out pretty well, all things considered. I might have even liked it to be longer, maybe. There probably would have been more to talk about, but I was just getting exhausted. But I think that was the core story. I think I got the core like message and story of Miyazaki's journey down, which was the key there. The outro was a little bit shaky, but yeah, I think it all came together quite well. And I'm hoping to do more videos like that in the future, probably about Miyazaki, especially about Anno. The Anno one, I want to go even further though, because I want to go back to doing animated sequences, and I have a lot of like more dynamic things chosen to be a bit more dramatic. I have at least 3 of them in my mind that I'd like to do in it, and maybe more will come with the more research, but there's a lot to look through, so it's going to be a lot, but I am looking forward to it. I'm really hoping that I can do those animation sequences though, and my wrist is in good enough health to do them, so that's really the key. But thank you so much for the $20, Kevbot. We'll put that back into the pot and maybe buy some more Arno shit if we need to. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jay, that's pretty harsh. Tendinitis in your left wrist from 12 and it still gives you problems now at 29. Yeah, tendinitis is a little bit different from what I understand, but like that's pretty, yeah. I've heard it's pretty rough because it's like all the way down there, isn't it? Yeah, it's that's the problem with like wrist injuries, is that like, yeah, they can be like, because you use your wrist so much that it can be such a long lasting problem. What's my next video? It is Fantastic Planet, hopefully coming out in the next couple of days, maybe. Waiting on sponsorship, that probably won't happen because they're assholes, but I'll work it out. I'm working it out right now. By the end of tomorrow, I'll probably know, and then I'll figure out when I'm releasing the video. Maybe on Wednesday, who knows. How's it going, Blowinox? Bluey-Nix. The Witches one, as far as I know, there's like 26 episodes. That's what I've got. And then there's a couple of OVAs, so I don't know how that works out. Oh shit. Well, thank you very much, Kit. I hope you have a good time watching the Norska video tonight. I don't really think you need to have actually read or what. I mean, you probably get more out of it if you've maybe watched Nausicaa at least, but I don't think you need to have done both of those things, like watch and read it, to like to take in the video. I think you could, like, I'm not really going in too hard on like the specifics of what happens, more like the production around it. I do need to get some water. Okay, where are we at? What are we in? 2 hours in, are we? It's 8 o'clock. Okay. Alright. If you can give me 1 second, everyone. I need to get more water. My voice is getting dry. So I'm gonna switch over to you for a second. Might need to boil the kettle again. And I'll put some Sonic Gems back on, so you aren't all alone for a second. I'm back. Apologies for that one. Now we got a drink. I fed the cat. We can continue. I did not disappear. So let's see, where are we at? How's it going, everyone? I see, so it's like what the limits of the mobility? That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's the problem with it. A lot of the time with the injuries, you have to kind of learn to live around it. Like you know, like when my wrist was at my worst, I would have to like avoid using it to do like basic tasks. It would hurt, so I had to like learn to do a lot of like because it was my dominant hand that got hurt, so I had to learn to do a lot of things with my left hand. Even things like, you know, cleaning your teeth, opening drawers, picking up heavy items, just like what hand you use first for a lot of stuff. I did try to get better with my left hand with my mouse, but I'm just so programmed to using my right hand. It's really hard to go back to that default of the left. Though if I'm doing nothing like particularly difficult, I can use the left hand fine, but I need to like, it's about how you put yourself in, and you have to learn to move your body and your weight the other way around to make it more convenient to use your left hand, which is, you know, sometimes a hard thing to like program in. The music was from the Sonic Chill playlist, I think. Always using Sonic music, that is the key. I mean, Mr. Joe, dude, I made a video on Whisper of Heart. It's pretty obvious how I feel about it. Is that Gregory? Gregory's house? Or Geogry? Geogry. Azaroth, anyway, Azaroth. How's it going? I forget what we were talking about before I left to get some more drink. And feed the cat. She'll probably come back and scream for a bit in a second. Oh wait, how's the audio? Is the audio still okay, everyone? Just because usually I know my audio sometimes like glitches out after a moment or two. George. Nice, alright. I see, it's Georgie. Oh, Georgie, yeah. I can't read, sorry. Where are we at? Well, I mean, I guess we're technically celebrating. So, congrats everyone. We did it. We hit the bigger number. Oh. I guess that's why you don't randomly stop in the middle of a stream, because I see we've lost a fair little bit of numbers, but that's okay. We've still got a good audience with us, and maybe we'll get some people back. Now we're back again. But you know, I had to get a drink. Ah. Alright. That's a little hot, so I might actually have to take this jacket off. Was I talking about Tezuka? Oh yeah, with the manga. Yeah, Tezuka's life work. He considers Phoenix to be his like best piece, if I understand right. And Phoenix is pretty good from what I've read of it, but like there's just so many parts to it. Like it's a very long story with different like elements and years. It goes through like decades, well, if not more. It's like centuries. And there are some like I didn't see it, but I know there's like a future one that Madhouse did, one of the OVAs by Kawajiri. That sounds pretty interesting. Rintara's Phoenix short is pretty good though, since a lot of Madhouse is ex-Mushi Pro, so they got those connections. Yeah, I've had this on the table for a while. I've been thinking about this because sometimes I get asked about doing videos about Tezuka, and I've always been like, well, there's so many videos on there's so many documentaries about Tezuka and all this other stuff. I was kind of curious what I'd add to the table, but I have like a pitch for how I'd want to do a video on Tezuka. But it's like very strenuous, and it would involve my health being like really solid and my wrist being very good. But it would be the idea of doing a video where like a lot of it is presented in the style of like a classic 60s Tezuka cartoon from Mushi Pro era. So like a lot of limited close-in frames and like lots of drawings in the style of Tezuka, but it's about Tezuka's life. So it's like a performance where like there'll be short literal pieces of animation to like the level of like a 60s. I reckon I could do it on my own, like up to like the 60s standard of Astro Boy, having these sort of like cartoon figures talking and closing up on their faces and random like lip flaps going and all the other little bits and pieces that he used in his early stuff. I think that could be quite fun. And like yeah, going through that story, like the story of Mushi Pro and the story of Tezuka, and like seeing how it changes and evolves. I just don't know how much of the story I would do, but like I like that angle of like having it a bit more like a dramatized, almost like a television show like approach to it, and making it very much like that, and a lot less like narratively focused, like narration focused, more like strictly like almost adapting it into an anime. But it's an insane proposition, but it could be very interesting. Have I seen Alan Moore's Watchmen? Do you mean have I read it? I have read Alan Moore's Watchmen. Have I read any Gekiga? Gekiga, or like adult mangas? Maybe a little bit. How's it going, Ava? Halloween stream in a costume. How about that? Oh, yeah, I could probably do that. I'm trying to think what costume I have. Probably something sultry. I could be Sexy Steve. I don't know, maybe do like a Rocky Horror Picture Story or something like that. Yeah, I could probably do Rocky Horror Picture. Something like that. I wonder if I've got enough things. I'm pretty sure I got... What am I going to need? Yeah, I probably could do it. Wonder when that video is coming. That video will probably come in many years' time. I don't know. I could do a Tezuka video anytime. I don't think there's any Tezuka's like he's been dead for like what 40 years now. It's not like I need to rush to make a Tezuka video. But yeah, like maybe one day. I don't know. I feel like I need the good. If I can find, what I'd really like is a book about a lot of it, because there's a couple documentaries. I'd like to see if there's a book on like the behind the scenes of like Mushi Pro. I feel like there are some in Japanese. I don't know if they ever got translated though. But there's like a lot of stories from that period of time. Hello, cat. You back? You coming up? You coming up? There you are. Hey, baby. You've been fed now. You happy? Look. There we go. You can have the light back. It's your stream now. It's all about you. There you go. It's a good cat. It's a good cat. How's it going, Bonesy? And Gust, thank you very much for the kind comments there. But yeah, like a video like that where it's more almost literal animation, like making my own animation effectively, in a very limited sense, like a documentary, like an animated documentary. At times we might move between the two because I think it would probably be too much to do everything that way. But having like a lot of sections where we recreate moments that way would be quite fun. It wouldn't be too far from what we're doing now, I don't think. It's all about presentation. Oh, you turned into like a little slug cat. Holy Pig, thank you very much for the kind comments. I'm glad you enjoyed the latest Nausicaa video. I hope you enjoy what's coming next. And Junji Ito's work's pretty cool. I like what I've read of it. I've read a couple of the shorts. My friend in uni, he had Uzumaki, so I read all of Uzumaki. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen some of his other work somewhere. But yeah, it's cool. He seems like a nice guy. He seems very sweet. Like a nice man to like hang out with. And do nothing like particular. I don't know. You go eat ice cream or something. Or like, I guess, would it be Mushi? Muji? What's the stuff called? I can't remember, but yeah, just chilling. Where were we at? Yeah, but yeah, thank you very much everyone for the kind comments about 75k. It's nice. It's mochi. That's the stuff. That's what I was thinking of. Mochi. Will I do Akira? I'll probably talk about Akira. I have two ideas for how I deal with Akira. One would be something called the Akira Impact, where I will be talking about a broad impact of the film and the way it was made, and what makes it like a groundbreaking sort of animation film for its time. And there's like a lot of stuff about what it did, where it came from. That would be one film, like one project. And I would also be talking probably a lot about how it actually basically created the British field for anime distribution as well as like its impact on later culture and animators and all this other stuff, I'm sure. But that'll be one project, and then the other project will be a video about Otomo's wider career, which will probably be called the Akira Problem, where it'd be more about like the shadow that's cast over him and like what else he's actually done, and talking about everything else. Because like Otomo's had a very, very strong career, like a very, not only as like a mangaka, because there's been tons of manga, right, but as like a director, he's been all over the place. I mean, the failure of Steam Boy is also like a pretty sour mark, which has pretty much brought him away from doing any theatrical animation since, because that was the most expensive anime movie of its time. Only very recently have we seen him like going back to making a movie with Sunrise, which is coming out, we have no idea when. And then there's a TV show for Akira, which will most likely be CGI. That's my guess. I don't think they have the manpower to make a 2D show like that. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they figured it out. If not CGI, a lot of it will be CGI. All the like buildings and cars and all that will probably be CGI. Maybe it'll look like Innocence. Maybe it'll look very cool, or maybe it will be a little compromised. It's hard to say. But yeah, those are the two projects I would say. One would be more about the latent Otomo career and how he got to where he was and where he's went from that period onwards. And one would be strictly about Akira. And also it would be like a lot of it would also be batting off misinformation, because God Almighty, the videos about Akira out there right now are fucking. Some of them are just really bad in that like they just don't know what they're talking about. Like you'll hear this about Akira sometimes, that apparently it was like they were doing it on wands. That's fucking ridiculous. No one makes animation on wands. They make them around that area, but not on full wands. You do not make an animation where you have nowhere that you can go from. The reason you use wands is tend to be a speed thing. Like if you want something to be really fast, you draw more frames, which sounds a bit counterintuitive. But if you technically could draw less as well, but that's a different kind of technique, and that involves like it's a different feel. And if you don't want creating like banding, where like it feels like there's strobing, you do need more frames. So you have to use a mixture of 2s and 3s and 1s. And that's what Akira does. And they say this in the literal documentary that Akira comes with, the Akira Project, like the Akira Project Report, I think it's called. Like there are scenes where they don't do that. And if you want something to be slower, use less frames. That's how it goes. As Richard Williams once said, 1s and 2s, in animation's sake, are like reds and blues. You don't just use one of them, you use both. And a lot of times, like a fast, swift motion is in 1s, where like a standard motion tends to be in 2s, because you need to create a limit for where you can actually go higher. If you don't, the whole animation may feel like it's underwater, because it will just continue to flow at the same speed. That's what frame interpolation is all about. Yeah, the Akira Impact does sound a lot like a Super Eye Patch title video. I wonder why that is. I wonder why I would be making a video with the exact same title. Stay tuned. Do I have any thoughts of Misaki Yuasa? He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. That's about it. We say like, when I say CGI Akira is a TV show, I feel that has to be like, that's the realistic goal of the situation, because the industry is so stretched. I just don't see how realistic it would be to make something as big as Akira on television, technically on Netflix. Like, I don't know where these talent's coming from. Where are these animators coming from? They just don't exist, unless like it's a worldwide production and they're animating it like off continent of Japan, which is possible. I don't know where they're finding the animators to make a production like that that's so big. I just don't see how it would exist without a huge amount of CGI. It just isn't like feasible in the current industry climate. And also a lot of Otomo's later work has went towards CGI stuff. Because again, like animators also who specialize in like Akira level sort of more articulate, grounded animation stuff from that like era of the 80s, a lot of them are retired. Or they're like passed away. Like these animators who specialize in that field they're not around as much. So like it's difficult. because you need a lot of people who'd be very good at animating like very articulate motorcycles and stuff like that. You need like a Koji Morimoto who's doing his own thing now. He's not working on Akira. He's the fucking big boy, or like a Nakamura. Takashi Nakamura, again, big boy, going doing his own thing now. Like, these people aren't going to come back to do your like small little bits of key animation for you, I don't think. Maybe if they wanted to, but like, that's a TV show has a lot of effort. It usually doesn't pay very well. I don't think Ghibli's films would work in VR, because to make VR work, you would have to have multiple frames to create a sort of the illusion that you live in the world. If you have VR in a 2D film, what you're going to create is 2D cutout things in front of your face that are like paper thin. I feel like you maybe feel very weird watching anything like that in a VR sense, because yeah, they're not 3D models, so those characters would all be just flat planes. You'd be basically watching like a paper theater kind of show. And if you try and turn your head too much, you're going to be able to see the edges. That's what I would say. Vilmos, that's very kind of you. I look happy, do I? Maybe I have something on my mind. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling alright. I'm feeling good. What's on my mind when I'm animating? I mean, when you're animating, usually I'm just thinking about what I'm drawing. I feel like a lot of it's to do with focus. Like, you kind of try and get yourself into a deep form of focus. When I'm animating, I tend to have something on the background, if it's music or a podcast. So I'm probably focusing on that and then drawing shapes. And then from that point onwards, when I finish drawing those shapes, I'll probably be then reflecting on how I feel about them and where I want to move stuff and adjust. And then we might move to the next step, which is then looking through the animation and getting a feel for the movements and what needs to be adjusted and what doesn't. So a lot of it's like being reflective about the process, but in the moment you kind of just have to draw it, and then afterwards it's like two different modes. Like, first you need to be in the mode of just drawing it, and then you might need to be reflective and adjust and like move things and check the timing, and a lot of it's feeling. When it comes to animating, like, that's how I feel about it. It's you have to feel out a cut. You have to be like, does that feel right? Is there something wrong with that? Does that look right? Do I need to adjust something? Does something need to be moved? A lot of that. Well, I will be making an Oshi video. I'll probably do. I've said it earlier. I will be working on Oshi probably in separate videos, because I feel like I'd never get it done if I had to do this whole career. It's just too much to do like for one video. And I don't know how I would market a whole video on Oshi, because I don't think his name is as well known as some of his works, which is a compromise for his situation. I could see myself doing like videos on like his movies from time to time. The ones I like, the ones I find the most interesting. Right now, well, here's the issue with my vertical mouses. This one is okay, but it has no guard. You see here? But I can't use it with this camera, because when this camera is on and I'm streaming, I don't know if it's like a bandwidth issue, but my actual mouse that I tend to use now, which is this one, I bought it recently. I bought it for my laptop, but it was too good, so I started using it on thing. This one has a nice little rest guard for where I sit my thumb. Really comfortable. But I can't use it because it's wireless. I don't really like wireless mouses, but it was the one I found, basically. Yeah, this one. When I try and use it while I'm streaming and have this in, it just doesn't work. It's too irresponsive, so I have to switch back. So this is the one problem with it, is it's not great. It doesn't work when I'm streaming, but outside of that, it's a pretty good mouse. Sports Direct Anime? You have to ask them. Maybe one day. Who knows? HECU, thank you very much for the kind words, and I hope you have a nice night. If you meant to turn it into VR, someone recreated Spirited Away train sequence on VR, and it looks exactly like with the movie. That's a complicated process. I mean, I feel like that's something that they'd wait for they do that Disneyland shit, you know? There's like a Ghibli world they're planning to make. That sounds like something they'd do for it. Because you'd probably have to recreate in CGI. That would be my guess. Or they're like stretching the CGI over like objects in like Blender or something. There are definitely ways that you can make an image, especially like further images, and then turn them into like VR. Because one of my colleagues, I guess I don't know. When I was in uni, one of the people I knew did like a VR thing where he took his work and turned it into like a 3D space. And there are ways of doing that with like certain things, though. Like you have to be a little cheeky about it sometimes when you use like flat objects in the distance where it doesn't matter. But it does certainly help when you're talking about like items, like a train carriage. You're gonna need the train areas, right? Like the seats and all that. Those probably would need to be 3D. But yeah, I'm not as it's not really my area 3D as much, so I couldn't really speak on it. Interesting idea though. I mean, I think it's cool to do stuff like that, but it's more of a novelty more than anything else. Yeah, Nakamura is a pretty legit dude. He's very influential. His stuff is great. Like, I mean, even Miyazaki has said his praises about Nakamura back in the day. Same as Morimoto. Morimoto was a huge fan of him as well. And Otomo, obviously a big fan. They're all very, He's good. Have I watched Ocean Waves? Yeah, I've seen Ocean Waves. Great soundtrack. Really love that soundtrack. Roberto, thank you very much for the kind comments. Let's go. Let's hope for 100k. We'll see. I don't know. YouTube is a fickle beast. You can like gain 10, 15k subs out of nowhere if a video just hits right. And hitting right on YouTube can be difficult. So that could just happen overnight. You don't know. But like, yeah, it really just depends if you hit the right area. I don't tend to go for trending topics, so I don't really expect it to happen that way. A lot of my videos are slow burn, like the long, meticulous videos that like gain the traction over like a long period of time. I've had videos that I've hit during trending before and they've done very well, but like it's very random. Chasing trends is like a very unhealthy manner to get into because it's a real rush. It's a rushing process, so you need to really be there at the right period of time because trends don't last very long. Especially like when something new just came out, you have to be really there on the dot, and that means that you have to rush the final thing, and what you'll say will maybe end up being a bit dated in the end, depending on what your approach is and how much info is out. So yeah, it's not something I like to do too much. However, there are like a couple ideas I have where I'm like, maybe I get that in. Like if they ever finish that Uzumaki series, I would really like to talk about Colin Stetson's music in it. Stetson, because I really love his music, and I think it would be interesting to watch it and then have a video about talking about how the music is used in the show, and I think that could be a fun video. But I don't know. If it will work, if it would be popular or not, I don't know. But I think it's an interesting topic, nonetheless. Tack, you're actually in luck because we're doing 4C month in December, so I will have to talk about Tekkonkin Street because it's one of 4C's movies. So it probably won't be very long, but it will be part of a segment of 4C month where the production of 4C month will be that there'll be a big video at the end of it, maybe 3 hours long, but during it we're going to talk about individual projects, like individual movies on the daily, like a bi-daily basis. So like one video every other day, more or less. That's how it's going to be. So we will eventually talk about Tekkonkin Street. Don't know how long the video will be. It depends how much I have to say, how much I can find. There's a lot of info out there. It's actually quite well reported on. Like I've seen like the early pilots and all that. I don't know if I'll have a ton of stuff to say. I think it is very 4C. It is pretty much the epitome of a 4C film, down to its style, down to its 3D compositing, its CGI usage, the energy it has when things are going on. It is just the epitome of the studio, and it came out probably at a very maturing point for them as a career standard. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think my content matches Chasing Trends at all, but sometimes things align. Let's say it that way. Sometimes a trend will align with the video I'm making for better for or worse. Usually it's when someone dies. Unfortunately to say it, but like when a creator dies, the interest in them tends to go up 10, 100-fold. So if I've made a video about a creator who then just dies, usually that video doubles its viewer count, if not more. Sometimes it goes ridiculous. Or like if something about that creator starts trending, that can really just like catapult something into the stratosphere. I would really prefer if my videos could do well without the people I'm talking about dying. That would be a nice thing, but the reality that's not always the way. And say for example the Plastic Love video, because it was still trending. I thought the trend was dying, but the Plastic Love trend continued onwards. I started making the video, and then it suddenly started popping. And then when I finished it, it was about a month after the initial release, and I thought it was dying down, but it then started going back up again. So I happened to hit just at the right period with a Plastic Love video. But that's not really an occurrence I can really rely on. And I would say that I kind of hit the cone. I hit him just right because we got the video out just as the anniversary of his passing, like the 10-year anniversary. So that was probably the most fitting time to release it. Though I feel like a lot of it was word of mouth probably in the end, but that did hit at a very appropriate time. So yeah, I'm glad it did. And thank you very much, Total. We'll doing the best we can in terms of 75k. It's a nice number. Who's dying soon? If I had to guess, unfortunately, I say it because I'm really fucking sad about it. I made a video about Yoichi Kotabe about a year ago, give or take. It was probably a year or so ago, maybe a bit longer now. Year and a half ago, I guess. I made a video about Yoichi Kotabe, who designed some of the Mario characters and was an animator in Toei. He's about 84, 85 now, and I feel his passing is probably eventually going to come soon, in the next couple of years. Anytime. He almost died beforehand, and that's why I made the video, because I'd heard he got really ill a couple of years ago and almost died. And then I was like, oh god, would anyone actually know who he is? If I who's gonna actually remember or tell the story? And that's why I wanted to make the video, because I was racing against the clock a bit at that moment. But yeah, I feel like unfortunately he probably will pass away at some point soon. But I guess he's lived a long life, so I'll give him that much. But yeah, I'll be sad to see him go. Very talented man. Yeah, Fantastic Planet is a strange film for sure. We'll be talking about it soon enough. It's a very I think I'll be putting it in I don't know if I necessarily think it's the weirdest thing ever, though. I think that will be the title of the video probably, because the weirdest animation you'll ever see, something like that, probably going to be the name of the video. I don't know if I necessarily agree 100%, but I feel like in terms of animated movies, yeah, it's a hard bar to get past, because of in terms of those sort of style, it's very uncompromising, which I respect. Janice Joey, thank you very much. I'm glad you are. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate the message. Has anyone who's been the subject of one of my videos acknowledged me? Not necessarily, but I did once talk to Mrs. Fukui, who is Ryo Fukui's widow, and she really liked the video that I made about him, and she was very supportive about it all. And I still probably need to go to Sapporo and thank her personally for being so nice about it. She even sent me stuff in the mail. She sent me a care package with records in them. It was it was a lot. It was very sweet. It was probably the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me, quite frankly, especially a stranger. But yeah, that was nice. But I don't know, anyone else is a bit more difficult, because I'm talking about a lot of people who don't even speak English, so it's very unlikely they'll see the videos, and if they do, they won't understand. I would actually love to talk about Akira Kurosawa, sorry. I would love to do a whole video on him. I'd love to do a whole documentary on his whole career. I think it's so interesting. It will happen one day. The problem is finding a lot of Akira's films is really difficult, because a lot of them aren't archived very well. So they're very hard to come by, and I feel like I should probably watch all of them, but I don't know. I could watch a lot of them. I own a fair few of them, but he made a lot of films, a lot of them, especially in the 40s period. It's going to be very difficult to track them all down. I don't even know where I'd find half of them. Some of the later ones are much easier to find though. Anything he made like post 1980 is probably pretty easy. But I would very much like to talk about it and how he got fucked by Kadokawa, his career, like working with the Soviets during like, the 70s, his career with like Mifune, a lot of his early stuff, like his early life and like the kind of like perspective he had on life. There's definitely a lot there. He was a pretty wild guy at times, especially to work with. Yeah, I also talked with Miyazaki. Yeah, yeah, we're actually very good friends. No, no. If we were, he wouldn't. You know, they wouldn't keep trying to take down my videos. Thank you, Derby Daily. Yeah, we're doing alright. I don't know how long we're gonna go. I feel a little tired. I'm feeling a little bit fatigued. But like, I should at least try and go for 3 hours. I'd say that's a good three and a bit hours. Maybe I can go a bit longer if I put dinner on. Like if I put some dinner on downstairs soon. But yeah, I've gotta keep an eye on that. Um, yeah, maybe in a moment I'll go put some dinner actually on, and well, I'll have to set an alarm or I'll forget about it. But yeah, we could probably go until like 9:30 maybe. That's what I'm feeling. Like maybe we'll go for another hour. If I can muster it up. If I struggle through, I'll be alright for another hour. Maybe. As long as I've got the energy. Remind me to cook and eat. Yeah, I gotta go sort it in a moment, but I'll give it, because what I've got to go on will probably take 20 minutes in the oven, 25 minutes. It's 40 now. Yeah, so like maybe at like 9 o'clock I'll go put it on. I don't have any pizza or ice cream, and I wouldn't be able to eat that shit anyway. Not on my stomach. Yeah, I've seen Rogency. Although, like, I wouldn't say it's not really a Satoshi Kon film. He worked on it. He did like some layouts for it. But he didn't. I don't believe he did much on Rogency outside of layouts and maybe a key animation. It's I mean, it's Otomo's screenplay, and it's one of the directors who worked with him. I forget the name of it. Who like directed that film. But yeah, it's a fun ride. It's based on like I think one of his short stories, Otomo. I think. Yeah, yeah. I think he did like layouts or something on it. Something to do with the backgrounds. I've got it somewhere. I've got it like on Blu-ray in the other room somewhere. Air fryer, damn, that's wild stuff. I do not have an air fryer. What was the weirdest animated film I've watched? I don't really know if I'm honest. I do feel like that as like a youth, like, and I tell this story in the video, but like Fantastic Planet was definitely like something I saw at like the age of like 18, 19 and watched it and was just like, I've never seen a film like this before. Like I've never seen an animated film that looked like this or did this before. And that was to me really interesting, like really fascinating. I was just like, whoa, what is this? Though I grew up watching like Yellow Submarine, which in itself is quite a weird film, but it makes sense, I guess, to some degree. I feel like, yeah, Fantastic Planet, well, out of the two, I would definitely say Fantastic Planet is the weirder of them, in that like there is like a through line with the Beatles one at least. So, how's it going? But that's why I was going to bring the title up of weirdest animated film I've seen to Fantastic Planet, because I'm actually kind of curious to the kind of comments I would get in the description. Because even if they were annoying, I actually would really be interesting if people were like, no, this isn't the weirdest film I've seen. This is the weirdest film I've seen, like the weirdest animated film I've seen. Maybe like Son of the White Mare they might bring up or something. But I'd just be curious to see what other people have done, because there's a lot of Soviet animation out there, which is pretty like out there for sure. I've seen some of those, but I guess feature films are different. Like shorts are one thing, because shorts can be as like absurd as you want them to be, but like when you've got to make something that's like 70, 80 minutes long, usually that takes some level of like, we got to convince someone to pay for this. Cat Soup is kind of weird, but I don't think it's really the same kind of weird as Fantastic Planet. I don't think. Cat Soup is kind of quirky. Definitely has its weirder moments, and for sure I remember but like it's, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like you probably get away with showing it to people without them being too out of it, just because like cute cats. Lol. All right, that's a nice comment there, Void. Yeah, I like these glasses. These glasses are good. These are just my screen glasses. I mean, I have my these are my video glasses, but they I don't think they're any good for the screen, to be honest. But I tend to wear these ones in the video. I bought them specifically for one video, but I like the look of them, so I kept using them. And I guess it's like sort of branding now, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll probably just use these in most videos. But you know, when I'm streaming, I don't want to wear them because I like to keep my eyes from being like melted. You know, I think the drag are definitely scary in a way in Fantasy Planet, but I think the humans in themselves actually freak me out more than the drag, because the drag are like kind of detached enough from like a human person, they're weird enough on their own. And they don't really hit me in the same way that the strange illustrations of the people do. I mean, they make Simpsons because it makes money. I don't care. I haven't watched The Simpsons in over a decade, at least over a decade. I have not seen any new Simpsons. But you know, if it makes, I guess it's Disney now. It's on Disney if they want to keep making that shit, which is really weird to say. Because Fox was probably just doing it because it was an easy cash grab for merch. But I don't know why Disney would keep. I guess it's just because they can. Shrug. I don't know if is it still on television? I have no idea. Yeah, Rogency is absolutely a ton of fun. Weird film, Tale of Tales. Tale of Tales is Norenstein, right? I don't know if Norenstein's film. I mean, I've never really got the impression from what I've seen of Norenstein films that they're like super weird. They tend to be pretty cohesive. They just have a very unique style. Tale of Tales is a cool film though. I've got a book on Norenstein downstairs. I bought it off his website. It's like about his history. It's very cool. Belladonna? Belladonna's a fun film, yeah. I like Belladonna. I wouldn't say it's like the weirdest thing I've seen. It's definitely art house. But like it's cohesive as a story, very much so. It just has a very camp and strong sense of art design. It's cool though. Great music. Jan Schwackmeyer. Jan Schwackmeyer's Alice in Wonderland. Don't know if I'd count that as an animated film per se. I guess it's like mixed because it's like some stop motion, kind of live action. Very fascinating. I mean, I think if Jan Schwackmeyer is a movie his stuff is already pretty cool. Yeah, it's very visceral. Yeah, I think I look good in both these glasses. Sophia Alice different than the Jan Schwackmeyer one. But yeah, I mean, shorts, like I said, shorts is like a no-go zone. Shorts can be as weird as possible, and Jan Schwackmeyer's shorts are definitely very out there. I remember seeing them in like college. Yeah, the Czech stuff's, well, I don't know, the Czech stuff tends to be pretty formal, but like I guess the Czechs also animated Fantastic Planet, but it wasn't their idea. Codex, what is that? Codex Sarufin? I don't know this book, but I can see some of the diagrams. Wait, do I own this book? So I'm just thinking about it now because I'm looking at these illustrations, going, I actually might own this book. Do I have this? I remember picking up something like this, like one of these books with all the illustrational strange things in them. But I don't know if it's quite this one. It's just something similar to it. Yeah, the illustrations are. I mean, the illustrations in Fantastic Planet are sort of based on a more like 19th century sort of etching kind of approach, which Roland Topper had sort of made his iconic style of. La Casa Lobo. Interesting. I'll have to look at it. Is it weird? We bring it up because it's weird. I mean, this does look weird. Yeah, this is definitely very creepy. I'll give you that. It says old or new. What a strange looking thing. This is like nightmarish. 2018, Jesus. Because it's sort of like the kind of film you look at and you're like, this looks like it came out in 1982 in some random year in the Cold War. But it is like, it looks like it's shot digital. So it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it looks pretty spooky. Very spooky. Very worth a go though. Modern 9? What, like the animated film 9, or it's Modern 9 a different film? I can't find anything from that. Yeah, cool glasses. Yeah, these are my cool guy glasses. I don't even know if they're shades. I think they're like night glasses for like driving. That's what I vaguely remember. Paradisati? Paradisati. Is that animation or not? Oh, it's a short. Ah, Satie. Eric Satie though. Okay, Satie. Okay, Saatchi. Right, Saatchi's Parade. Yeah, I mean, short. Like I said, short. There are no boundaries for shorts to be weird. I feel like a feature has to involve a certain kind of dedication, which makes it more impressive if it stays to be so like strange and alien, because that's not something usually that you can get away with in a film as much because budget. Cuban film about the dictatorship. Interesting. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, the Soviet cartoons tend to have a lot of variety to them, I appreciate. Would I like a cashew nut? Cashew nuts are pretty good. I do like cashews, to be fair. I don't know. I don't really snack that much, so I can't really help you there. I mean, I like that sort of stuff. Cashew nuts, almonds, dates, strawberries, etc. I have seen Interface by Unami. Yeah, I've seen some. I haven't caught up in a while, but it's definitely an interesting approach to like the YouTube serial, especially in the animation stuff. I think it's very admirable what they do at that channel, just because it's like an expanding story, like the sort of sound design and the aesthetic and like the way it feels like it was made in paint. It's all really interesting. Like he's such a like it's all such a defined style. And I really appreciate that in like a weirder kind of production. And like, you know, I guess a part of me at one point was like, that's the kind of thing I wanted to be. I wanted to be like an avant-garde animator in such a fashion. He like makes serials on YouTube. But with my wrist, I don't think that'll ever be a reality in the same way. But who knows? Maybe one day I'll retire from doing these sort of YouTube videos and end up being like a avant-garde man myself. But who knows? That's the kind of thing you do when you truly made it. Oh, I was knocking the wire. I've got to avoid that. Jacked Frost, nice name. Thank you very much for the kind comments. Pope the Clown? Pope the Clown? Is that a film? Oh, that's a CGI show. Yeah, I know that one. Not a film, but it's pretty weird. Definitely uncanny, I remember that much. I don't know, it's a very strange one. Certainly some pretty eye-popping stuff in that one. Oh dear. Looks like my Discord is telling me that it's... No, so my OBS is telling me that it's starting to play up. I don't know why. I have to remove some things. It's just stopped working correctly. Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back. We've dropped some frames. But oh, it's really messing around. Jesus Christ. Okay. I think we're back now. Sorry if we had a problem there. My connection just sort of dropped out for a second, as it does sometimes, unfortunately. I think we're back now. I'm getting green on my side at least. Someone in the chat tell me, oh god, Paul. Alright, maybe it'll be back. Maybe it'll figure out in a second. One moment. Sorry, we're having a random moment, but it's green on my side now, so I think it should be alright. What anime would I recommend for adults who really enjoy Ghost in the Shell? I don't know, watch all of Oshi's other work. Like, Oshi, it's made by Mamoru Oshii. Just watch the rest of the stuff. Patlabor and all that. I'm not really here to give you random recommendations off Ghost in the Shell. Like, I don't know, you can probably follow the trees as well. Like, if you look at the people who worked on Ghost in the Shell and look at the people who then went off from Ghost in the Shell to do their own stuff, you'd probably have a good, like, diagram of stuff. Yeah, Shrankmeyer kept puppets history. I mean, Shrankmeyer wasn't even like the key of Czech. There's like one particular dude, if I remember right, he was like the king of Czechoslovakia animation for a while, especially puppeteering stuff. I forget his name though, but I mentioned him in the Fantastic Planet video. And yeah, I've seen Puparia. How do I say that word? Puparia? Puparia? I know the film I'm talking about because I have a very particular relationship with it as someone who animates, to feel a bit like the dude who made it is making some poor quality of life choices, I'd say. Some of the stuff he's doing, I'm just like, ooh, why are you doing it that way? Because I feel like he's going to destroy himself doing it this way. You can't... Alright, speaking as someone who's done this myself, you cannot scan all your frames in. You can't be doing it that way. Scanning takes like 2 minutes per frame. You know how many frames you have to scan in? You need to do that shit on a camera rig. You need to put a camera with the right scope or with the right frame, like the right lens on it, and you need to you need to stick it looking at something and put all your frames on that and take a shot like that. You can't be doing it on a scanner for every piece of the thing. You're going to destroy yourself. You know how you can waste days, weeks, months just scanning stuff in it. Scanning is such a slow process. It just isn't the way to do that kind of production. Same with some other stuff where like he's dedicating himself to every piece being hand drawn completely, which is a fair way of doing it, but he's also using computers and he's using Photoshop and he's using an old school tablet instead of like a video tablet. There are definitely things he could do to like refine his process and speed the thing up, but maybe that's something he's doing now because he's released a short of it, and like maybe he's working on something bigger now, maybe he's got people interested in working with it. It's hard to say. I kind of came to the conclusion at the end that he should have started like a Patreon or something, or some kind of service like that, and people would have probably thrown money at him to just like keep the production going. I reckon that could have been cool, but I don't know, maybe that's not quite up to the Japanese commonplace yet. But yeah, I feel there are definitely ways that he could speed up his production and not compromise the quality, and that's when you have to really worry about, when it can take like a minute of film takes you like a whole year to make, especially when you might also be still working at Sunrise from time to time to figure out the space. But Sunrise has a photo press. They will have a press where they will take photos and scan in all the frames, so they must have something that he could like use. He doesn't have to use the scanner all the time. I'm hoping he only uses the scanner for the video, but like it's very stressful to look at as someone who's done it. I mean, it took him so long because he's doing it on his own. It's kind of insane that he got that far, and it's also some of it's trial and error too. Is figuring out like how something should look and what you should do with it, like adjusting different layers of color. Yeah, they use the Steven Reich soundtrack thing, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Steven Reich, the soundtrack in the video they used. So they don't own it. So I don't think he's probably hasn't made any money from it because they used the licensed soundtrack piece instead of if he had paid someone to make a soundtrack for it, he would be doing pretty alright now, because that video did incredibly well. But I guess you can never see it coming until it does. Yeah, I mean, average. I mean, I would say that the scanning person is a person who's ruining their life. There is nothing more stressful than scanning stuff in slowly for animation. As someone who's done it, it's not an experience I would recommend anyone do. Because you also have to adjust it afterwards. So like it's better to have a real-time camera in front of you, because then if you can see where the camera's pointing, you can adjust in real time. The problem with a scanner too is that when you put the frame down, you are beholden to the scanner. So if there's some grit on it, if there's some dirt on the lens, if it's not quite aligned perfectly, you have to do that alignment afterwards. If you pin something down with a photo camera in front of it, you can see in real time what's happening. So then you can adjust the frame, put it over the top of the last one. You're not going to have any bits of dirt and dust over the thing. I mean, it might be on the frame though, but you can just wipe it down. Yeah, in real time, you can do it like that, and you can check the frame before you take a photo, and it's going to save you a lot of time in the end. Um, I mean, I was literally talking about Norrenstein a moment ago, but I don't know what you're talking about, Tak. We mentioned Norrenstein a little bit ago, but I know who he is. I have a book on him downstairs. I wasn't talking about Norrenstein a second ago, though. I was talking about the creator of Paparia, or whatever it's called. Uh, I mean, there's no changing Norrenstein's mind. He's a man set in his ways, which is fair. He doesn't use, though he doesn't use a scanner. He's smart. He'll shoot it on an actual film camera, which is the same as what I'm saying to do. He's just doing it traditionally, not digitally. But he's shooting on real cameras, so he shoots click, click, click like that. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't have to wait 2 minutes. He's using a real film camera, so you just go click, 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 next frame, next frame, next frame. So he doesn't have to wait around for a scanner. He's making the right decision, and he's doing everything traditional, which is insane. Yeah, I mean, I think also it's worth mentioning here that like digital is not the enemy. This idea of like getting an old school visual, you can do this a lot with like traditional mediums. Like you don't need to choose one or the other. And I mean, technically he's not in Preparia because he's still like putting this stuff together in Photoshop, and he's still scanning it in to then adjust it with his tablet and adjust colors and do like layers and all that sort of stuff. So he's still working digitally. He's just working with traditional medium in a digital format, which is correct, yeah. But like, there are definitely things that, and I think he used After Effects too. So it's not like there are definitely shots in Preparia use After Effects, especially the start where it's like coming towards the camera. I'm pretty sure he was using 3D layers in that situation, especially toward like with the figure. I'm pretty sure he was growing and adjusting things. That would be my assumption. I think he's using some stuff like that, but you should not, take. You should take advantage of the materials you can use as an artist, even if you want to make something traditional. Use still at times be willing to use other techniques if they are more effective at what you need them to do. I mean, I'm watching enough stuff from 4C, and 4C's early traditional films all use digital techniques to like really strong effect, and I think the films would be worse without them. Like the way they use like digital compositing and other techniques, the way they incorporate CGI into their frame is great. Like it makes the films better, and that's an important thing. And even stuff like Akira, right? You know, people will use Akira as like a start and go. Akira has CGI in it. Akira has all the light trails of CGI. Like they exist in computer generated world. Like you can't really. It's not really easy to do that sort of effect on like paints. It's not quite the same. Thank you very much, Grable, for the kind comments. Oh no, Hazel. Oh, that's too bad. Don't worry, Hazel. We'll do another stream next week. It's fine. We're just celebrating. We're just chilling. But yeah, I appreciate you coming down. It's funny that the clown emoji has the same hair color as your avatar. That's always funny. Thank you very much, Hazel. I appreciate the comment. The Overcoat to me, like the Overcoat's very interesting as a film. I've always said that I would have liked to do a video on it when it's done, though it to me it kind of freaks me out a little bit too, looking at like the clips from it, just because the way it moves, the way it looks, a little scary to me, a little uncanny at times. But yeah, I imagine the film when it comes out in the end is going to be a very magical experience for a lot of people to watch. But Norrenstein's great. And the way they're making that film as well is very extreme. Like, it's a very particular way of doing it. Like, they usually do a lot of cut, and that's a lot more mixed, it seems. But yeah, I don't know when it's going to be finished, or if it ever will be finished. I mean, last time I heard they had like half of it done or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, it would be nice if it came out. They've made a documentary about it in real time, no? Because I was supposed to go to see it at a digital conference, like a film conference thing. I was supposed to watch the movie that they made on the Overcoat, and I missed it, unfortunately. I don't know when I'm going to be able to find it again. I don't even necessarily agree that the best CGI is the one to not notice, because you can certainly use CGI in a lot of effective ways in the front of the frame. Totally. I mean, say for example, Hosoda's film, right? You can definitely notice when Hosoda's using CGI. Like, what about like in the Digimon War games or all these other ones, where it has all these like digital apparitions in the background, and they're all like very obviously CGI, but like they create sort of an atmosphere that goes with the film. Like, I don't necessarily feel that, like, if you're talking about in films, like in live action films, usually CGI is used as an illusion. Like an illusionary phase to do something, but not necessarily everyone would argue that, like, say for example, some of the most iconic pieces of CGI we all know are CGI, stuff like Gollum, stuff like Thanos, like these like very strong motion captured creatures, like, they are not invisible. You can definitely, I don't think Gollum is a real person. I know he's CGI. Like, it depends on what we're talking about, your intention is, but I think that CGI can totally be the forefront of an image and be very effective, but it needs, you have to know what the benefits of using CGI are over using something like traditional hand-drawn animation. It tends to be also about how you move around a landscape, because, you know, in 2D animation you're a flat plane, so using CGI is usually an effective way of doing stuff like moving through an environment, like zooming into an environment, moving around it, or creating an object that would be very difficult to draw, like if it would be like, you know, something that's otherworldly. Like, you can use the effects of CGI very effectively. I will then point back to Innocence and how it uses CGI in really strong ways for its backgrounds and its backdrops, and the way it then uses the light to hit them and brings the 2D characters together with that. Yeah, there's really effective ways of doing that, and I don't think it has to be not noticed. Sometimes you want to be noticed. I mean, the thing with like Princess Mononoke CGI is Princess Mononoke CGI isn't actually very good, but it's used so sparingly that people don't actually notice it. Like, I think some people misconstrue that. They think the CGI in Princess Mononoke is the infected warthog. It is not. It is one close-up shot of the infected warthog that they use CGI. But there are also other little bits, like they use it for like like backdrop stuff, like things in the air, like neon little glowy things in the air, or rain and stuff like that, like little particle effects. CGI is very good at particle effects to add to like shots, to enhance a shot. But then if you go to this next film, like Spirited Away, the Spirited Away has a very obvious shot, which is CGI, where she's going through the what would you call it, like the sunflower field? Like, there's all the CGI sunflower fields, because they zoom like that, and then she moves through it as they zoom in the background. And there's a lot of shots like that in Spirited Away, which are zooming shots, like they're zooming, because that's very difficult to do in 2D. So sort of, like lots of whip pans and stuff like that in CGI within like Spirited Away. Oh, is it Oh, Bernsey, thank you very much for telling me. Shit, I should probably go and put that on, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Princess Mononoke used CGI, but in a very limited fashion, like I just said. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it's not even just the CGI instance being like good in itself. It's the way it's all about compositing too, because CGI doesn't need to be the most amazing thing for it to work in frame. The best thing to do with CGI is to make sure it is composited correctly into the scene. Usually that's about color coding. Usually that's about it being the right shade, it's about making it feel like it lives within the world. Like, it doesn't need to look like, the CGI doesn't need to look amazing. It doesn't need to be the most high-tech, high-gloss thing. It just needs to feel like it exists within the world that it is living in. So that tends to be about color and how it like affects the world around it, like if that's shadows, color, how it feels within the frame, how it's distorted within the frame. These are the things that make it feel lived in, and a lot of that has to do with secondary process over like the actual CGI itself. And I'll go put the oven on now. Alright, the oven is on. I'll worry about everything else in a little bit. We'll go. How's it going, Mr. Brooks? Thank you for the £2. Glad you're here to enjoy us on the final parts of the stream. We'll probably go for like another half an hour, I think. Well, I said maybe 20. It depends. Where's my phone? That's probably downstairs. Oh well. Alright, someone remind me in like 9:30 to check the oven. Maybe, yeah, 9:30ish. I'll probably have to go check the oven, and then I'll probably end the stream. Brooks, I have heard of the video, the animator who spent 40 years on a single film. Here's the thing, though. Alright. This is very petty, but the video they're doing on that 40 years... I know Norenstein. I've known Norenstein for a while. I wanted to do a video on Norenstein's film for a long time. I wanted to wait until it was done, or possibly like we know there's a conclusion to it, because recently they released a documentary about it. But I'm really annoyed that they released a video that I wanted to do, and it's done very well. I'm pissed off because I was like, I wanted to get to it. I wanted to be the first one to hit that shit. But I guess I could never really be the first person to hit it. But like, I'm annoyed that video exists. I haven't watched it out of spite, because I'm like, no, fuck you. That was my thing. I wanted to do that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it one day. But yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed by its existence. Even though like it's unlikely I'd even ever got to it, because the film's probably never going to be finished. But it's certainly a project. It's like a project that interests me quite a lot. And I think Norenstein's a fascinating dude. I own his book. I've watched most of his shorts. I've been interested in his work since my days in uni, which is about 5 years ago now, I guess. Hedgehog in the Fog, a very excellent short, very inspirational to me in a lot of ways. I like how he uses the different place. I've watched his conferences. I've watched Norenstein give talks and show how he does his process to animators in the field, like to like young people in university. So like I know this. I know the man's the way he does things quite well. Yeah, but I'm annoyed that it exists and I didn't make it myself. That is it. Yeah, at some point I might do it. I think Norenstein's work is great, though like I'm a little bit foggy. I know of Hedgehog in the Fog probably the best. I've seen some of his other shorts. I think there's one with a fox and a chicken in a house. I can't remember the name of it. You can find a lot of them out there. Tales of Tales is quite interesting. It's one of his bigger like productions. It's one of the last things he did before he ended up working on The Overcoat. That might have been my contingency plan, was to make a video about Tales of Tales and then use it as a byproduct to talk about the production of his latest film. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, it's not like the only one person can do the video. I'm just being very petty about it. Because then I'm thinking about how I would title the video, and I think I would have probably titled it something. See, their title's pretty good, so it's like difficult for me to like, fuck, how do you even title that? Like, the animation film, the animated film that took 40 years to make, something like that, wouldn't it? Or it'd be like the animated film that took a lifetime, the animated film that took a lifetime, the animated movie. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know how I'm going to title it. I was probably going to say like the animated movie with the longest production history, but it's not a good title. You need something snappy. Thank you. Is that Devi? Divey? Appreciate the comment. Yeah, I mean, if you ever mess with actual film stuff, like film stock, film cameras, looking into them, it's a very interesting process. I've messed around with them. Very fucking nightmarish to work with, to be fair, in some way. It's a bit scary at times because like one of my first experiences with a film camera was that I did a whole shoot with a film camera in the woods, and it was getting dark, and I was leaving. And the next day I tried to develop it, and it seems like the film had not snapped in, so nothing ever developed because it didn't take any photos. The film wasn't in, the film reel didn't snap in properly, so nothing came out but blanks, which was like, wow, I just wasted a whole fucking shoot on nothing. Amazing. How's it going, Grim? Ikuhara. Yeah, Ikuhara is pretty cool. Minus, I mean, Sailor Moon is pretty long. Yeah, most people like Utena. Oh, yeah. Alright, Brooks, have a good night, alright? You have a good one. Nice to see you. I'm probably going to end the stream soon anyway, so if you got to sleep, have a good one, right? Yeah, I'll be at a 1:30. I'll probably be done, because that would have been a pretty, yeah, 3.5 hours. Ain't bad. Yeah, I mean, you can totally use film noise to, as someone Gene was saying, that you can use noise from film to like sort of mask stuff on CGI as well, because it's more about, yeah, you need to create a context where everything lives in the same world, and sometimes noise is like a layer on top, which it's sort of like a layer of distortion that like helps that, it makes it less naked. And some of that, that's why you do things like color correction. You add layers of color, you add layers of noise, you add layers of texture, whatever it be. These sort of things create a way of it feeling like it is less alien in that world. And sometimes it's about like how you shade or connect that into the world. I think sometimes a CGI that is more simple, it's more flat, simple, and like the textures are more low, like they're lower, they're sort of more, I guess, what would be the term? I guess, yeah, textures that aren't as like super detailed will work better in that world, especially a 2D world, because they won't feel as out of place. Like if you make something super textured so it feels like it's from a video game, it might not really fit in the world of a 2D animated production in the same way. Because I'm looking at like some of the CGI they use in like Memories. There's a couple shots in like the third shot where they do like zooms in at the front door, and it's really effective. The way it feels like they basically took. What it feels like to me is they took some drawings they did, and then they brought them into like a 3D program and put them as like a flat texture on top of the hallway, so that like it is effectively a drawing like stapled on top of like a boxy room. That's how it feels to me. I'm not sure if that's how they did it back then, because it was a very long time ago. I'm curious. Oh, the cat's meowing again. What do you want, cat? It's probably medicine time for her soon as well, so when I finish the stream, I'll give her some medicine. Oh, thank you, Hader. I appreciate you like the old Nausicaa video. I'm glad it's fucking done. Jesus Christ, that was a long one. And now, even longer working on 4C stuff and Arno, but we'll get there one day. I think we're making our progress, one day at a time. Can you hear that, can you? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Cat, what are you doing? Where are you going, Cat? Oh, she probably wants me to feed her. It's like almost medicine time for her. So I should sort her out at some point. We'll get to it. But she's not coming in, so I can't help her. What were we even talking about? I've lost my train of thought now. We were talking about Norenstein for a bit, but I think I've said my piece. Okay, Mishima. Mishima? Have I seen Mishima? Oh, you mean Mishima, A Life of 4 Chapters? I've got it. I've got a copy of it somewhere. So the one from like Lucas Productions, isn't it? Philip Glass did the music too. I've got it somewhere. I've been meaning to watch it, but time hasn't been on my side. But yeah, maybe one day I'll watch it. I got it somewhere. I got a file of it. Oh yeah, Hayden. Yeah, I think the more I don't know, because people have mentioned about the comedic stuff in the Norska video. I don't know if I necessarily intended it to be like way more comedic necessarily, but I feel like it was just the nature of the story was just very funny. Like, even though like it's kind of horrible at times, there is just like a lot of really silly and absurd parts of the just like how the story came together. So I played into that, and I thought it was fun to like extravise it a bit, because Miyazaki is just extra. Every one of his quotes reads so dramatically that I think it was fun playing into that a bit more with especially like specific scenes, like with like him bursting into tears, or like other like him in his clown makeup sort of shit, like his opera clown sort of setup. Yeah, my stomach's probably hungry. I don't know, from making funny noises. Well, we're gonna end the stream soon, so it'll be fine. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Jesus Christ. What is Go King Joe Monogatari then? Oh, Neighborhood Story. This looks cute. I like the style. Feels very 90s. I got it right. Mid-90s. Yeah. Nice. Nice. What do you want, cat? God damn it. Where are you? Alright, well, I'll sort it out in a bit. There we go. Yeah, I thought that's what I mean, yeah. Yeah, I like that element. Oh, the cat scream again. God almighty. You coming in or not? I'll be down in a second, alright? I'll be down in a second. I'm gonna get myself some food, so then I'll feed you, alright? We'll make you some medicine. You're gonna come in here for now or not? Come on, you weren't fed that long ago. I fed you in the middle of the stream. You can't be that hungry. Gee. Come on. She wants me to end the stream, guys. I'm sorry. Paradise Kiss was the sequel. That's pretty interesting. I've always wanted to see Paradise Kiss. Takahata kidnaps the film reel. That would be an interesting one to do. Maybe I'd love to do a bit with Takahata just holding on. Well, I could probably do that. I could probably draw a picture of Takahata just holding onto his film reel, like with a fucking lighter in his hand. I'm gonna fucking do it, because film is so fucking flammable. Just like the idea of like, I want to fucking burn this shit. Like you either let me finish it or you get nothing, because most of those producers would probably leave them to it at that point. What do you want, cat? Yeah, that's the mode of my life. Oh, see, she's seen my face now, but now she's just not stopped meowing. Come in here. What do you want? Come in here. Come in here. What are you're meowing like aimlessly. What do you want? But I just fed you. What do you want? Do you want to go out? Is that it? Come on. Oh, you can't see it right now, but she stopped meowing simply to just flop on the floor, meaning that she probably wants me to pay attention to her. I don't think she wants anything in particular. I think she's just being a chaotic little demon. She probably does need a hug, to be fair. Yeah, I've actually always wanted to watch Paradise Kiss, but I've never got around to it. Yeah, very good graphics for sure. Paradise Kiss. Yeah, okay. Paradise Kiss, Paradise Kiss, Paradise Kiss. And it's Miss Meow, I believe. What a way to end the stream. It's just going to be meowing for the next 10 minutes. Alright. You came in now. Are you gonna sit down or are you going to quiet up? How am I so handsome? Ooh. I don't know. I can't really control it, so... I don't know, chat. You're going to have to tell me. I just get out of bed in the morning and I make a video. That's all. There's nothing special to it. And sometimes I shave all my hair off. Ah, hello. I see you have came back. Oh yeah, they used Franz Ferdinand in the ending for A Paradise Kiss. It's like, well, do you really want it, right? You know, there was I once almost got to see Franz Ferdinand live, but I think it failed. I'd asked at some point, but yeah, we never got the tickets because I had a friend who was in press, and I could have got like a free ticket to go see it with them, but they weren't given the tickets in the end. Kind of lame, but you know, what can you do? But yeah, Franz Ferdinand's a very fun band, especially the first album. The second album has some interesting songs too, but yeah, very catchy. Ah, Cat Soup. Cat Soup's cool. I wish you luck. I know how it be to try and get videos out at some time period. It's not always ideal. When I got that Fantastic Planet video, well, I'm still waiting on hearing from sponsors that probably will never get back to me, but if not, Fantastic Planet video should come out soon enough in the next couple of days. We'll see. Alright. I don't know, chat. What is the difference between sexy and handsome? That's the real philosophical question. I'm not sure I know the difference. How am I doing? I'm doing alright. I mean, probably should put the wrist brace back on, actually. I mean, Fantastic Planet is very weird. I don't expect it would jive for most people. I think it's a very particular kind of thing. Sexy is horny. I mean, yeah, but like, does that emanate out of someone? Good cat. Yeah, I mean, Fantastic Planet is very weird. It's a very dejected film in a way. Like, it's very pulled back. And, you know, I think a lot of it will live on the sort of the art style and the tone in the world. And how much you can kind of get a feel for it. Because at times, Fantastic Planet's even a bit much for me. Like, I've certainly seen... I mean, recently I had to see it twice. I saw it in English and Japanese again. Not Japanese. English and French. I saw it in English and French when I was writing up the video. I watched it twice. And I've seen a couple of scenes many a time because I've watched it in the past. But, yeah. It is a lot. Good Kit Kat. I think French is probably the way it was meant to be seen, but I don't actually I don't like necessarily think the English is like totally off. I feel like there's probably more clarity in the French because it's like a newer translation, especially as the Criterion. But I own both versions of Fantastic Planet. But yeah, I think the English is somewhat easier to just absorb the world in, that you just sort of exist. Everyone talks weird anyway, so it is kind of like just like a, you know, you sort of you turn into like a lump and you just sort of just deal with the world you've given. So I think the stiltedness kind of lends it a sort of ability. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Probably Spike Spiegel. In terms of a fight, in terms of JP and Spike Spiegel, I would say Spike Spiegel would win because I don't think JP is actually much of a fighter, if I remember right. He's a good racer for sure. Like if they were racing, it might be a different story. But like Spike would probably beat the shit out of him. I don't know. I don't believe JP could take it. I saw him get beat because in the film doesn't he get beat up by that like police officer or whatever? Isn't that something that happens? It's been a while since I made the video. What do I make of Asterix and Obelix? Too European for me. Right. Oh, we are almost at half past. So, I guess it's any final words because we're starting to tone down anyway because I'm seeing the numbers are sort of. No, 23 is still nice, but I probably should go make and finish my dinner. The cat definitely wants my attention for something. Probably wants me to give her a medicine. So, any final words before I end the stream? Oh, yeah, Debbie, you got a nice little cat, right? A little kitten. Talking cat, damn. I don't know that one, but I hope you enjoy your talking cat show. Yeah. Where Asterix and Obelix, isn't that like... God, where's that actually even from? I don't know, it's always been... It's very European. That's all I remember. Is it French? I don't feel like it's French. Time of the Gaelic Wars. Franco-Belgian, of course. Yeah. That's what it's from. The Franco-Belgian. Pilote, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a French... It was in a French issue, but it's a Belgian comic. I think that's the idea. I mean, Derby, the original title is The Savage Planet. Le Sauvage Planet, I think it is. Fantastic Planet, I guess, was just what the Americans at the time, or whoever was publishing it around, thought would be the right title for it. It sticks. I think it's a fine title for it. The world is supposed to be the Savage Planet. Maybe the Savage Planet was just too much of a nasty title. I don't know. Fantastic Planet is maybe a little bit more intriguing. Where the Savage Planet may give a different impression of like a horror film or something, a horror sci-fi or something, and they probably didn't want that kind of vibe. Okay. Kandahar? Kandahar? The city? I don't know. Where are we at? Anyway, like I said, goodbye everyone. It is now past, so I need to check my dinner. It should be fine in the oven because I put it in a bit later than I thought, so I'll check it though and maybe like flip it. But yeah, we'll talk about live action Cutie Honey with everything else in the Arno video. And I'll say good night for now. I'll just make sure I read it. So good night, goodbye. Thank you for the kind comments. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Adios. Goodbye. And I'll see you probably next Sunday. As I say every time. Thank you very much for the nice work. We'll be back next Sunday, but we may be back on Wednesday? Whenever I release this new video, whenever I release the Fantastic Planet video, I'll do a little stream beforehand. As I usually do. So we'll do a pre-stream. So yeah, if I see you then, maybe it'll be on Wednesday. That's always a nice day to release something on. If it's not on Wednesday, that probably means good things, because it probably means I've found a sponsor and I'm working out the details with them. But if not, probably Wednesday. Alright. So I will see you then. At least Sunday. Thanks, David. Big number indeed. I mean, it's pretty alright. Goodbye. You came in too late.